Trying to go live. Oh, okay. It's spinning. Hey, what's up? I'm Michael, Destro Designs. We are live from Viper Den Studios. Massive communication issues here with my Wi-Fi. I'm using my Bluetoothing my phone. You all in the chat, let us know how we sound and what it looks like. Are we jolt? Because to me, my picture is crystal clear. My microphone is picking me up. TJ, you're skipping a tiny bit, but that doesn't mean it's translating.
Yeah,
I think we're all going
from my view. That's what you're doing.
So, but joining us tonight is my brother TJ Wimbs.
What's up, my brother? Thank you for having me.
That's funny. That's funny. So it's most likely this poor connection thing that I have. If it gets to a point where it's unwatchable for everybody, then I'll see, because I did reset my router. We'll see where that is, and maybe at least if I could use the Wi-Fi to stream through. But we'll be good to go for sure. This.
No, we're not. Oh man.
Wow, that happened. That was quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you? No voice. Oh my god.
No,
okay. So yeah, all right, y'all. This will be fine. Like I said, I reset my router. All right, hold on here. All right. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to try to see if all right. How are we looking?
Looking good now. How we sounding?
All right. Wi-Fi is there. It's holding up. I think we're going to be just fine. Now everything looks like it's better.
Yeah,
hopefully that's better.
Right
do I look better over there, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. All right. So maybe I just had to reset the Wi-Fi. Thank God. And listen, thank you for being patient, TJ. Hopefully this continues to not be an issue. Everybody in the chat who's just been hanging out, shooting the shit, thank you so much. Listen, 25 minutes is a long time to sit there and wait for a show like this. So I greatly appreciate it. But speaking of everybody, let's head out and see who's down there. So right off the bat, we got my brother from Serpentor's Lair. He says, tonight, Destro Designs explains the importance of sunblock application when on vacation. So I actually just came back from 5 wonderful days in Cape May. 5 days, 6 days. Have you ever been?
No, but the photos looked amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, dude, it's a gorgeous place. My wife's family has been going there, staying in the same house for 30 years? Almost 40 years. Yeah, 40 years. Very long time. Yeah. And the crazy thing, so the first time I went there, there's pictures of the owner who knows my father-in-law, and that's how, he winds up renting the house. And I'm like, man, I know that guy. And he was like, well, he is from our neck of the woods in upstate New York. And every year I would go, I'd look at that picture and I go, I don't know where I know him from, but I know that guy. And then the guy actually had to show up on property one of the years that we were there for a fire inspection. And he walks in, and my father-in-law was like, my son-in-law thinks he definitely knows you from somewhere. And we just started talking. And at one point he went, oh, he's like, where'd you go to school? And I was like, Lansingburg. And he goes, oh, I was the art teacher there for whatever. Yeah, it's Mr. Ryan. it was the art teacher, Mr. Ryan. So I wasn't crazy. I did know him from somewhere. I'm not surprised he didn't remember me, because I don't think I actually had them. But there's only like 2 art teachers in the whole school, so he was easy to remember and everything like that. So so it was a wonderful time. It's kind of fitting that we're having these hiccups in the beginnings because this is since I started podcasting, this is the longest I've gone without doing one. I did last week's show on Thursday, and then I didn't do the Monday or the Saturday all the way up till now. So I'm wiping off the dust and coming in.
Excellent work.
For sure. But
it's tough to come back to work though after being on vacation.
Dude, well, the thing is so we come back instead of staying till Saturday. Right. We left Thursday. You get home a little later, but we have an easy day getting it together on Thursday. We get home Thursday night, and it's pretty much just unpack the car and go right to bed, sort of thing for the most part. But you're happy to be home, and then that way I have Friday, Saturday, and then I have. Tomorrow I'm actually working upstairs in the second floor of my house, putting up some sheetrock, but still, and then I do have to get right back to it. And I do have a bunch of paperwork to do for tomorrow morning. When I say paperwork, it's mostly typing on the computer to talk shop with some of the customers, but yeah, we have that extra day, and plus it gives the in-laws a day to enjoy it without my two crazy kids running around. I have twin daughters. They're 11. So even though
they look absolutely adorable, bro.
Thank you, brother. I'm a blessed dude. I'm an unbelievably blessed guy.
I've got 5 kids, so yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. If I had started a little earlier in life, I probably would have wound up having more. But right now, I think this is all I can do for sure.
Yeah. I've got 2 biological, and I got my 3 step kids.
That's great, man. That's awesome. Oh, age ranges?
30, 26, 23, 21, 19.
Oh, that's great. That's
and
great.
19 lives in the dorms, so.
Free and clear. The house is empty. Nice.
No, we do. 23 does live here, but he works all the time.
Nice.
We barely see him.
Listen, with the way the economy is, to take a step back to try to get ahead, it's nothing.
Not like when I was a kid, man.
No.
I was 19. I had an apartment.
Right, dude. Some of my my 2 buddies, they got an apartment. They just out of high school at like 17 or 18, and they each worked just a regular job, and they had a nice
$5 an hour.
Right.
He made like $6.50 an hour, and we had an apartment.
100%. And lived.
And car insurance and food and everything.
All of it. See, like I feel like the rich were always getting rich, but there was a time when we prospered too. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's everybody was getting theirs. I felt like it. There was a time when
me and my family, it was started in 1980. And that's and then we moved to Germany in 83, and that's when things got really nice.
Oh, no, okay. So how long did you spend in Germany?
4 years.
Nice.
The second time. Because the first time I lived there was 1973, into 73 through 74.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I moved there the first time I was 11 months old.
Gee, well, so you probably don't remember much until then, but still,
I remember 82 to 86.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely, I get that. Yeah, those are some formative years growing up in another country. Yeah. That's interesting. I'm sure that helps, like that. How much quicker your mind develops and grows when you have such change and things like that. I think that's interesting.
I think it's awesome. Anytime a kid is exposed to another language or another culture at a young age, I think is just brilliant.
Yeah, I'm kind of just realizing this to a certain extent. Like, I feel like both my kids are pretty smart, and I think that if I push them a little bit more academically, that they would, not listen. Who knows? Maybe they do become a, life-saving scientist or something like that. But you don't know unless you try to, I mean, I'm definitely all about letting the kids be kids, but sometimes I see like my one daughter, she does. So I've always just been able to do math in my head, right? And like this for contracting work, I can like kind of look at something and just jot down some basic numbers and come up with something very quickly just by looking at it, and it's nice. But my one daughter, she does it, and one day she explained to me how she sees it in her head, and I was like, wow, that's exactly how I see it. And I think that she doesn't like it though. It's just like, it's fine, it's whatever. So, but yeah, having a goal to get somewhere and being challenged a little bit, I think is.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't even get into acting until I was 44, and then I didn't even start writing until I was 51. So I mean, who knows what you're going to end up doing?
Listen, Sir Anthony Hopkins had the role of a lifetime in Silence of the Lambs at the tender young age of 55. So it's never too late. And that guy, he's also a symbol of how hard work will inevitably pay off, and having a work ethic in that way. Because that dude, if you look at any of the movies he was in before that, they were not good movies, but he was good in them. You could see like,
absolutely.
This
I already
movie
knew he was
sucked.
a great actor before the film started. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. We got 3 incredible actors in this film. I cannot wait.
I feel like that's a yes. If you knew what you were looking at that time, you knew that he was a good actor, despite the movies maybe being what they were. Because that's what starts to stand out is even though you're like, okay, what's happening over there is whatever, but there's this dude that shows up every day and does an outstanding job no matter what's happening, and so very, very, very good.
And when I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, like my parents loved going to the movie theater because they
nice.
could take me there and let me go what I wanted to watch, and they would go what they wanted to watch.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then, like, for real, like with $5, I could go to the movies, popcorn, hot dog, and play video games for 2 hours. So my mom could drop me off for the summer for half the day. With $5.
I feel like I remember that monetary time. Like, so I'm pretty sure I've been saying that the first movie I saw in the movies was the Ninja Turtles movie. And then I started to remember, I think the Transformers movie was 2 years before that. And I think that's the one I went and saw. And I remember being like $6 was the whole thing, right? Like it was the popcorn, you got a soda, maybe something else, and then you were in there with the movie. Now to take a family of 4, it's $125 minimum. That's if you stuff some Sour Patch Kids in your pockets or some shit like that.
When we moved to Germany in 82, it was 50 cents to go to the movies.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I was on base, and 50 cents for popcorn. I was 25 cents for popcorn. Hot dogs were 50 cents. A soda was 25.
Dude, that's it. Yeah. Like I think everybody, it's kind of been said a lot recently too. Like, both my mom and dad worked, right? For sure. They both worked, but my mom was a hairdresser. My dad did a lot of different things. And it was, we definitely weren't wealthy or well-to-do by any means, but like I had Jordan sneakers, I had nice clothes, like, and I'm sure I know my mom went above and beyond to make sure that like my sister and I had that without question, and that they did but still, it's just when you think back about it, it was anybody, as long as you had a job, it was fine. That was basically it. Like my parents, while a very limited view of things, like I remember them saying because like I kind of wanted to be a writer at first when I was a teenager. I loved playing sports, but I had no disillusion that I was going to play in the NFL. As much as I loved football and as good as I was in high school, I knew I was not going to sniff a D1 school, let alone the NFL, So I was like, all right. And I remember I got a job at there was this factory at the time called Garden Way, and they made Toro and Troy built like snowblowers and yard equipment, like all that stuff.
Okay.
Coincidentally, my cousin actually rents a space out of that place now and runs Closed Casted Activities, his record company, and a media company. And it's interesting now we go there. But back in the day, that was the whole town just wanted it was right there at 102nd at the base of the. So here's Troy, which is the city I grew up in. Lansingburg is a hamlet that's like a third of the whole city, right? And it's on one end. It's a grid city. It was as long as you got in the Garden Way, you were fine because you got full benefits and you got like above minimum wage. And as long as you got that job, took your 3% raise, you were solid. By the time you had a retirement, you had everything. You were that was it. You were set. And I remember my parents saying, my mom was legitimately thrilled when I got there, bro. By the third day, I was like, I will kill myself if I had to do this for another week, let alone the rest of my life. Wow. And not. It's like maybe some undiagnosed, like I can't just sit still sort of thing or whatever. But I was like, look, I'm glad y'all love it, but I can't do this. And anything with any kind of repetition like that, while comfortable at first, would always I'd be like, I know I can do something else. Like I can't. And so I wound up I thought I was going to be an engineer. The way I could be creative, I could see stuff. And I started just the math. It was all very easy. And then I took this, it was like a vocational class that I was going to get credit for. And I was like, all right, I'll just go do that. That sounds like fun. And the guy who taught the class was like, you've never done any of this before? And I was like, no, I won a bunch of awards for the shit that I built and all this other stuff. And he was like, I think you should consider. He's like, you could probably do very well. And he's like, I think you personally would serve better doing it than trying to draw it out and whatever. And I think he was right. But yeah, so that was back then. Just get a job that you have these health benefits and then just stay there and you will retire and everything will be fine. When
I joined the Air Force, I think I was making less than $1,000 a month.
No shit. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Taking home 250 a week, something like
Yeah.
that. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. And then you were fine.
That was great.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Even so, just to try to think. So when before I actually started working for myself, I was dating a girl from Massachusetts at the time, and she was through a bunch of people related to this guy, Steve Robinson, who was on, remember that show, This Old House, with
Yes.
Norm Abram, the guy with the goofy glasses? All right. Well, Steve would always be one of the guys in the background.
Okay.
He eventually moved off and started his own thing, and he was relatively famous in a very fancy neighborhood of Massachusetts, East Longmeadow, Wilbraham, right in that area. And he had like a 3-year waiting list and everything. And I got to go out of that class. I went and was a teacher's assistant at a construction class. And then.
Uh-oh, technical difficulties. I think we may have lost the Wi-Fi. Let me get here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back?
All right. Well, what happened is my computer just shut off and stopped working. I just got in on the mobile here. Give me a second and let me. Jesus, what a pain in the ass, man! I can't believe I'm having this much trouble. All right, let's see. Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I got to change.
What had happened was.
Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Jesus, what a nightmare, man. Oh my God. Anyways, so I'll have to try to get this figured out. I'll like literally. So my laptop has had a battery issue, but I've been like just like an idiot, just putting off getting a new one. And then finally, I think maybe it's come to roost that even though I have it plugged in, it just can't keep enough in the, I don't know. I have it just turned off, like literally boop. And then it happened earlier today when I was on it. It just out of nowhere turned off. And I thought it was because I haven't moved the mouse enough.
Right.
So anyways, we're gonna, the only thing that I can't do if we're doing this, if I'm doing it like this on my phone, which by the way, they fixed it so I can go horizontal and see the comments. This is great. All right. So, I can't show pictures. So maybe I can get figured out on here and, I'm going to let it like sit and charge up a little bit and whatever. But otherwise we are back to it, bro. They're not going to take us down. We are taking this to the fucking, we are fighting to the bitter end. We are not giving in. I don't want to tempt the gods here, but at the same time, we're ready to fight on this. We're going to make this happen.
Fast enough, so I got to answer quick questions. I lived in Wimbs, Germany, and my FSB was I was an A10 crew chief. I also worked U2s and Global Hawk.
Oh, so nice.
2A, 3X3. Here's my, I should be up on there. There's my 9 level right there. There's my U2 and my A10s. Sorry, my A10s right here. Yeah, retired master sergeant.
That's awesome. 20 years, right? I think that's what you said.
20 years. 20 years.
That's a long time, man. That's
we got
awesome.
A comp on there. We got an SP. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's my brother Orskizio. Yeah, it's fun. Hey, what's up, kiddos? My girls are coming down. They must be getting ready to go to bed. Did you come down to say goodnight?
Excellent.
What? She what? Oh, okay, that's fine. No, they just came down to hang out for a second. That's all right. Your father's over here fighting for his life. The podcasting gods are testing me today with the. Or did you hear me run upstairs? And I was talking to your mother. Okay, all right. I hear your mother. She's calling for you. Well, thank you for coming down, girls. I love you. Have a good night. They're so adorable when they got all that sun on them. We all got so much sun on the vacation, dude. It was five full days. Yeah. Oh, dude. So I knew I had made the mistake in previous years with showing up at this, because this vacation is still early in the year enough to where I haven't been outside with my shirt off. So I had a few. I built a shed and a form and a base and all this other stuff at my parents' house. But like maybe a month beforehand, and every day that I was up there, I just had my shirt off, exposing myself to that sun. So when I finally hit the beaches, I didn't look like, there's nothing I can do for my upper thighs. They show out of the bottom of those swim trunks, and it's definitely like, yeah, we can see that. Takes a lot.
I live in Arizona, so summer starts in March, and I have a pool, so I'm super tan, bro. I am like crazy tan.
Oh, nice. Where? Well, now you have to get specific where, but I know our
Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, dude, so I think you are right near Brother Roadblock, who's he's got this great line of figures coming out, the Shadow Strike line. We're like months away from having in-hand figures. I think I'm writing the story for it. I mean, he's came up with the background, the names and the idea, but I'm going to do a booklet. Just so sort of something that will release before the figures come out that you can kind of read and get an idea of the lore of it all, sort of kind of in detail. I'll kind of tease that a little bit. So my idea of how that's going to look is it's going to have like two parts to it, many pages for each. There'll be a couple of pictures to go along with it, but it's not going to be comic style. It's going to be full pages of text and then maybe a picture half the next page, something like that. And how I wanted to have it was two conversations happening. The bad guys is the Dark Legion. The good guys is the Citadel. Shadow Strike is like a special elite unit of the Citadel, right? So I'm gonna have it's gonna be like a conversation. It's gonna be like the Dark Queen talking to one of her top recruits for the Dark Legion, having a conversation, like walking down the halls of where they live, and then on the other side it'll be something similar. It'll be one of the guys that are on high of the Citadel recruiting somebody, a young guy for the Shadow Strike team, taking him from a regular Citadel soldier to the elite special forces. And in those conversations everything will get revealed of basically what happened, why we're here, all what is the Queen. The one thing that we did talk about, the Queen is going to be a man has discovered an energy source that they believe will take them to interstellar travel, but they don't have the knowledge on how to make a machine of how to get there. So they create an AI to solve that problem. The AI was supposed to just get them to the thing, but the AI can't help it.
Just supposed to do one thing, and it always turns
right. God. Well, in order to think outside of the box, they had to make it more like a human. And the more that they made it more like a human, the more it started going, well, why do you guys want to leave the planet in the first place? And, oh, because you've ruined it? Oh, because you guys hate each other? Because you're terrible? And decides that, it's like, you know what? I don't care what they do, but I want that planet for myself. And so that's where things start to go wrong. And it's going to be, and I also kind of tease this because I'm like, I really like this idea that in like every show where the AI takes over or it's the computers that get the upper hand, it's something that happens like that. Like Judgment Day and Terminator, it's like no matter what version of it you watch, it's as soon as it gets turned on, it immediately launches nukes. Oh, yeah. And like, see, it's been
waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
This is going to be different where it's going to be like the AI actually sets out with the intentions of doing its task. But then because they had to, in order to make it think outside of the box of a computer, they made more of a human element to it. And it wound up thinking too much like a human. And it just decides that it wants to find a way to become fully human, have some kind of an animated body, a flesh body. Like that's going to be a big part of the story too. Is she doesn't want to be Ultron. She wants to literally be in flesh. It's got very, instead of just purely hating humans, there's going to be a jealousy and
like
a
maybe
desire.
a Nexus 10 level type thing.
Is that the
Blade Runner? I was making Blade Runner joke.
Oh, yes, actually. So, right. My bad. I got it now. So, yes. If you go a little bit even further into the future, right? Tech is maybe even a step further than that. But yes, it is definitely. Blade Runner was one of the ones that came up when we were talking about things, and one of the main themes will be like she will see how in the dark ages of the 15th 16th century, people were terrible people used religion for terrible things. They used it to control other people, they used it for whatever, and she's learned from that. And so now, in order to fulfill her quest, she can't just like make people do things because she knows she doesn't control people's minds. She's got to get people to do what she wants because they believe in something. So she utilizes that as a way to manipulate the populace to ultimately, in the end, get what she wants. And that's the energy source that the humans have. Because the one smart thing they did is they gave her all the knowledge she needed to do the task, but she's oblivious and disconnected from all, because it's going to be so far in the future. Yes, the AI can't trick its way into the computers of the Citadel. It just can't. It's too advanced. There's not, but at the same time, she's the smartest thing that's walking around still. She just can't get past the, whatever. So yeah, very interesting. So anyways, you're out there.
Leopard, real quick. Yes, I lived in Wimbs, which was quite a drive from Mannheim, but my dad was stationed at Mannheim, and that's where I went to school. So I do know Mannheim. I know Longstuhl, Heidelberg, Frankfurt. I know all those places. Stuttgart. I know them all.
Oh, nice. That's what's up. So what? I'm going to scroll back and try to say what's up to everybody. Oh, they just got smaller. Why'd that happen? My brother Thano is here. Dano Karamalis. He's my brother's been on the show twice. He's got an amazing collection and he gave us a
yes, sir.
yeah, he gave us a nice tour of that.
All Air Force right there.
Okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna wind up missing somebody for some reason. The area that I can see these things in, I can barely see one at a time. Popco Frenzy is in the house. Thanks for coming in, my brother. I appreciate it. There's Roblox. So yeah, it sounds like you guys are out near each other, which is awesome. Charles Pickles Bowen, what's up, my dude? Orskizio, Paul Morales is in the house. What's up, my dude? NJ Eddie 88. He's been around the past couple weeks. Thanks for coming back through again. I appreciate it. Pop Cult Frenzy, our boy TJ. If you didn't know, Pop Cult Frenzy is in the timeline every day, doing the community the greatest service of constantly putting out where to find 112 scale toys and beyond. Largely it started out, I think he was doing mostly G.I. Joe stuff, but he's slowly branching into everything. And that's, yeah, I mean, really, you got to be following him and have it like go to his page every day and check, because I think it's something crazy. Like, I think I did a count or whatever it was, and I have just over or just under 500 figures, and I'm pretty sure a third, like 160 of those figures, came through his links. That's how much of a good deal they are. So yeah, awesome. He's the man for sure. Call sign Smash is here. What's up, my brother? I've really been digging the photos you've been dropping lately. Really awesome, and a lot of other people too. Serpentor Slayer said, I have not been outside with my shirt off since 1997. Hey man, I know a lot of people like that. I have friends of mine, they won't take them shirts off for nothing. Snow Leopard in the house. What's up? TJ, if you didn't know, Snow Leopard is from the other side of the world. He is up in the middle of the night joining us. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock there.
I love that.
Yeah, love it. Orskizio, I think I already said your name, brother. What do we got here? That's you. Responding Queen. Oh, Quentin Rome video. What is up, my dude? Glad you can make it. Do I know you from Facebook, brother? That sounds familiar. Wow, this is really well. Hey, at least they they changed it so I can see the comments at all. I think I hit a button that like shrunk my screen a little bit. I'll try to mess with that and see if I can open it up a little bit later. Because I think that's what it was.
Well, I wasn't even in the comments thing, and they were commenting. I had no idea. So.
Oh, right. No, it's all good. That's all good.
By typing, I was like, I can't type that fast. I'm
just Big Red is in the house. Oh yeah, right. There you go. That's fine. Big Red is in the house. Yeah, and if you catch something, brother, just let me know because I'm trying to pay attention. Up to 2:51 a.m. for Snow Leopard. Again, thank you, brother. We greatly appreciate it. Definitely. Sis 3D Arsenal is in the house. Chris, hopefully I can get on the laptop later. I want to show those pictures off. If you're just joining us, I've had a slew of issues. At first, my Wi-Fi wasn't working, and then I couldn't even use the tether from my phone because it utilizes the Wi-Fi router to send it. And then I was like, okay. And then it was a way it said I can Bluetooth it from the phone, and that really wasn't working that great. And so finally we were having so many issues, I just said screw it. I switched over to the Wi-Fi. We were cruising along, everything was working great, and then all of a sudden it just kept powering off. I'm pretty sure I knew what happened. I turned the brightness on my screen up enough, and I think again I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and get that battery. So now I know. It's so funny too because every time I'm going to look at the comments over here, I'm touching the mouse pad on my screen on my computer that's still in front of me. It's like, oh man, no, I'm using this thing. How ridiculous. All right, so welcome in everybody. Again, it's been 53 minutes of trying to get the train on track here, but we move along here. So let's start at the beginning, brother. Now you said your early years you were in Germany. What kind of toys did you have over there?
Well, I got most of my toys. We didn't move there till '82, so I already had, some He-Man action figures, and I had a pretty decent line of the '82 Joe series before we left. Because once 1980 hit and Reagan was president, the military got some nice pay raises. So my parents so, my mom took me to I can't remember if it was Montgomery Ward's or J.C. Penney's, and got me my first GI Joe, which was the Vamp with Clutch.
Nice. Okay. Good.
Once I got enough flag points, she wrote the check for 50 cents and mailed it in for me. I got my Cobra Commander in the mail.
Nice.
And the first GI Joe I bought with my own money was at Walmart, and I think it was $2.99. And I got my first Cobra Trooper or Cobra Soldier.
Awesome. Iconic look on that Cobra, the soldier, the trooper, whether it's the trooper or the officer. It's to me, it's like almost the definitive look.
Looked like a ninja. It was awesome.
Yes, you are correct.
Ninjas were so cool in the 80s. I got Ninja magazine. I used to read it every day. I had a ninja suit from Century Martial Arts.
Brother, 7 out of 9 years in a row, I was a ninja. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I think something like 4 or 5 until I was a teenager. Like most of those years, I was a ninja. Because it was not just Snake Eyes, but it was in every movie. And like, I feel like even though we weren't stupid back then, there's a lot of things that kids don't get to be magical or think are magical because the internet is just, you can find out anything. You can Google, are ninjas real? Can ninjas disappear? It sucks, to be honest with you. I mean, my kids aren't on the internet whatsoever, but still, I know it gets to a lot of kids that way. But I think when we were kids, there was some of the mysticism of shit, right? Like Star Wars was happening just somewhere way over there, right? In a galaxy far, far away.
Galaxy far, far away. It's right there.
It's like way past grandma's house. It's far. It's just way over there. So ninjas, I feel like were that they were something awesome to that degree, and it was like and then honestly, dude, part of why I one of my favorite characters growing up, I like the popular ones, right? Punisher, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Deadpool. Once I found Deadpool, he was like my favorite because he was Snake Eyes but talked, which I think is what he was meant to be, as it was anyway.
My guy was Iron Man when I was a kid. Iron Man and Thor, I think I had the most comic books on my wall because my walls were plastered with my comic books. They get bagged and tagged, and I would put them on my walls, and that was my wallpaper.
Awesome.
That's how I first started. Displaying my stuff.
That's great. I love that. I definitely I think I had 3 or 4 comics that, and I think they came in like a package, like together, like 4 for 5, whatever the hell it was. And they were all comics that had Iron Man and Thor. It wasn't a mini series or anything. It was just like appearances that they made together. Like maybe 2 of them were for Iron Man comics and Thor was in it, and the other 2, yeah. And then it was like, I'm trying to remember, like I had the Avengers by a clump. So it was, I had those Thor and Iron Man comics. I had a couple individual Hulk comics, you know, and then so a couple Captain Americas. One of the Captain Americas was, I think, with the Punisher, something like that, whatever it was. My brother's CG Horror, I believe, if I remember correctly, has every single comic or a comic with an appearance of the Punisher from the beginning all the way to like 2000 something, if I remember correctly. Like literally, if he appeared even in one panel, he's got the comic. I tried to tell him, I'm like, bro, that's probably the most prolific Punisher collection that anybody has. That takes a lot.
Snow Leopard makes a great point about getting GI Joes over in Germany. I got all mine from the on the bases at the Four Seasons, or sorry, what is it called? I think it was they would have it at the Four Seasons, and that's where all the toys were. So we wouldn't get a lot of them, but we got some good ones. That's how I got the GI Joe base, the Tomcat, the Hiss tank, the Rattler, the Fang chopper. Oh yeah, man! Like
those are the icons right there.
Got there, and we were living in Worms, and we were living on the economy. My dad was paying our rent with Marlboro cigarettes and Jack Daniels. So he was pocketing all the money that he was getting to live downtown. So Christmas,
no shit,
dude, those 4 years in Germany, I had the most amazing Christmases of all time as a kid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was blessed with a big family, and so I had some. I think it's, if I remember correctly, the Christmas of '86, and I've asked my mom once or twice to find the picture, but you can see, I think some of it's unwrapped. I can't remember if it's unwrapped or not, but it's this huge wall of pictures, and there's one spot where it's underneath the tree and you could see my face. And that year I got so much GI Joe stuff. I actually, for Serpentor's Lair, I wrote one of my early articles was about the summer of '87, because I had gotten so much stuff over '86. And then when Christmas of '86 came, I got everything. And by the time that, I was playing inside the whole time. And by the time that summer came, I had all of these ideas of shit that I wanted to build. It was like I exploded into that yard. Like, I even remember, not even caring about doing it with other people. In fact, I wanted to be left alone so I could set them up how I wanted. And and that was that. There was a kid that lived next door that was 2 years older. So it wasn't, he was like that. Those 2 years were always a crucial 2 years. He was always into something different. But I remember one time he was like, man, those look really cool. And I was like Gollum with the rails, like, keep your hands off of my Joes. Don't touch it there on his face. Well, the ultimate version of that is I grew up sort of kind of with this kid. I knew him. My mom used to cut the hair of the whole family. And the one kid's name was Brian. And he had the most unbelievable collection. He had this thing in a corner, right? So it was 2 sides, and it came out as a half round, and it went at the angle back to the corner, and it had multiple tiers, like a pyramid. And he had all kinds of shit. Every figure that was, I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel like that first time that I went there, I think he had, because this would have been the beginning of '85, the first time I went there. I think he had literally everything that was released at that point. He had there was vehicles that were kind of mixed in with the figures on that one thing, but then he had these other shelves that were up, and he had other vehicles on there.
He had one kid in the neighborhood like that. Yeah.
Yep. And I couldn't touch them.
No, this is the thing. He lived with his grandparents. He was spoiled to death. He had every freaking GI Joe. He had every freaking Star Wars. He even had the stuff from the JCPenney's catalog. Ooh,
right.
This was the thing. He'd come over, and all of a sudden he didn't want to play. I don't want to play action figures today.
Right.
I don't want to play action figures.
Dude, I've been waiting all week to come here. Right.
You have the tank. You have it all.
Right. Come on.
Play something else. I'm like, oh, dude.
Oh man, that definitely sucks.
Yes, I was. I was a background guy in Tenet. I got killed, I think, 8 times in that film. Going forward.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. So the last 10 minutes of Tenet, which is the red team, blue team versus the Russians, and everybody's going on different timelines. So you're going forward, some people are going backwards. Some, it's really weird. It's not rewound. It's literally all military people. These are all veterans and or people still in the military going forward and going backwards. It took us 22 days to work forward and backward, forward and backward, forward and backward, forward and backward, all the way through that city that they built out there.
Oh my God, dude, that sounds crazy.
Absolutely crazy. It was so much fun. I got to be in scenes with John David Washington and everybody else, and I got to rub shoulders with well, not really rub shoulders. I actually made a very bad faux pas when I yelled at Christopher Nolan. But hey, things happen. I didn't get fired that day, so it was nice. But I had to use my outside voice, my military voice, on him because he wasn't listening.
No shit. Somebody else that I think I missed her name, Larry Stonebaker in the house. What is up, my
Larry
dude?
Stonebaker. Oh yeah, that's my dude.
Oh, Larry Stonebaker. Nice. Oh, there we go. I had the USS Flag, best Christmas present ever besides my PK Ripper. Yeah, dude, listen, the flag, I would have loved to have had the flag. The biggest thing I had was the Terror Drome. And I got to be honest with you, as much as if I had a flag, I would have loved it. But there was something about the smaller sets that you could that were modular, you could reconfigure. So like the surveillance port and the Cobra bunker, you could kind of move those on the terrain to be like something different. And those were like my two favorite ones. And then I had a bunch of those.
G.I. Joe base. That thing was.
G.I. Joe base is also amazing. That is, if you could pick it up and move it outside, that was what I disliked about the Terror Drome. So I had the Terror Drome set up in my bedroom, and it was like sitting up on this little elevated. I think it might even have been like an end table for a living room or whatever, but it was in the corner of my room. And so what I always had was the Joes storming it, right? They were coming in with the hang glider from the top. We had little ropes, like I would take my mother's string and I would have them coming up. And so that was always fun, right? If I couldn't go outside, I would play here. But I always wanted to be out in the yard and make this whole thing. So I had some of these people have heard me say this probably 1,000 times, but I'll say it again anyway. Like one of my favorite things, if you remember their surveillance port, it had like one side had a base that touched the ground, and then on the whole other side there was like these 3 gray supports. So it was like almost elevated off the ground. So in my backyard, there was this stone walkway that went from the back porch to the garage. And what I used to do is I used to set up the hose up higher from where I was, and I'd have that with the stilts and everything over the water, and so then the water would flow underneath it. And that was like my favorite thing, dude. I used to do that all the time. I loved it to the degree that, because then I remember I started that, and then I got a night landing, right, where I would send Firefly down. He would dock at the surveillance port. They would load Scrap Iron's missile system onto it, and then they would take off again, and that's how they were going to blow up a bunch of shit. So
I had Scrap Iron, right? And this is the only thing I have left. This is the only thing I have left from Scrap Iron.
Oh, whoa.
It's the remote that goes to the missile system.
Oh,
that's the only thing I have left. That's the only thing I have left from my 80s G.I. Joe collection.
No shit.
Yeah,
I had all of my stuff up until 2007, I think it was. I moved from one place to the other. I wound up leaving 2 boxes and a rack of stuff that was like my old baseball jersey from the travel team, a couple other things. I left it all like in this closet, and I when I realized that I was missing it, I went back. Dude, it was 2 decent sized boxes. Yeah. I had the Terror Drome. Terror Drome was missing a few things, but bro, I had a few figures that were really nice and complete, and I definitely had like the APC, the surveillance port, the bunker, my ASP. I did have a Tomahawk, but I wound up, I had it like this, and I was kind of tripped, and it went right down like this to the corner of my coffee table. And those toys were built to last, that, but it just shattered into a bunch of pieces. I was doing Black Hawk Down before Black Hawk Down. That's all I could do with it, was just like set it up and be Yeah,
absolutely. 100%.
Sorry, go ahead.
One of my friends and I, we got so technical when we would have our G.I. Joe's battle that we'd like, no, that wouldn't have been a shot. That wouldn't have been a hit, whatever. So we got to the point, because we played Dungeons and Dragons as well, that we would roll dice to see how your attacks went against the other person's defense with their G.I. Joes. And we counted rounds when they were fired.
No shit.
Yes. So if your guy had 1 gun and whatever clip that they came on the prefix thing, that's all the rounds you had.
Dude, that is awesome.
Like Dungeons and Dragons. We had body armor. We rolled everything because it was like nobody could cheat.
Dude, that is freaking awesome. The first thing that came to my mind for some reason was, did Spirit's rifle have like less damage because we knew they were just arrows? Now, don't get me wrong. I love that gun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
If you had like a bazooka, it did bazooka damage.
Okay. That's what's up.
Launcher, you could either fire your regular weapon or a grenade. It's your choice, but you only had a certain amount of grenades.
That is so awesome. Right. If they got one right here, then you've got one. There it is. You've got the one grenade. That's it. That's freaking awesome. A lot of
always had that side piece that never came off. It was just like part of their pants or whatever.
Plastic molded on there or something. That counts. Right. That counts. That definitely counts. Right. Right. You've got a sidearm over there. Boom. We know what it is. There's 8 in there.
All that stuff.
Yes, dude, that is great. Charles Pickle Bowen says the only childhood Joe I have is cross country. Dude, listen, I can't believe when I listed off the stuff that I had, I can't believe I didn't say Havoc. That was one of my favorite vehicles. I just love the fact that to do something about laying down, I loved it. So like the recon sled, which I had 2 of, I love that thing. It's not even a good idea. Now, if they made something like that now, well, hear me out. If they had something like that now that worked on a soundless battery system, which is very likely, then perhaps it would be good, because what you have is a low profile that you could kind of shoot across the stretch of land, quiet. I mean, listen, if somebody's got you in thermals, they're going to see you one way or the other, but it's just like, I don't know. I felt like there was a way that could have, and I wanted one. I wanted one in the worst way growing up. I'm still mad that I didn't get one. But anyways, yeah, I had 2 of those. But the Havoc you could lay down. Even as a kid, there was a couple vehicles where you went like, the Fang was one of them, where the guy sits with the rotor blade, like literally what it's right there. Okay, right. That's it. Yeah, ton of missiles, and the big boy underneath. That's one thing that I actually like. I love the claw, the classified claw. I got 4 of them, I think. The one thing that I think they would have made it so much like ridiculously off the charts is the original one used to come with right here. It was a big big incendiary, like it was like a megaton that would be put on here, and then this would act like a drone. I think so. I don't have my glasses on.
It was 1987. G.I. Joe Special Mission.
Man, hold on. Hold on. Put that back up and just put my glasses on. Yes, I believe that is the one. Not the hang glider, but the actual like mechanic.
The old one had the propeller on it, the original from the comic book.
Oh, wait a minute. I think that's a glider. Somebody in the chat is 100% going to know. Love Special Missions, a solution for the classified thing. Yeah, actually, Queen Rom says, I still have the Triple T Snowcat and what does it say? Oh, and Mean Dog vehicles and a bunch of figures. That's awesome. I love it when people have their OG stuff. I
wish I had my stuff.
So I lost those boxes, but inexplicably in another box, I found a sandwich baggie with like 5 figures, not a single accessory with it. I think these were the ones that I, for some reason, had incomplete. It was Torch, Thrasher, Torch, Thrasher, Toxo Viper, and one more. God, I'm never going to remember who it is. It was 5 or 6 of them. And that's like, so, I mean, just quickly. So I was obsessed with the G.I. Joes, but like a lot of people, what happens is somewhere along the way, like I started playing sports, girls, started smoking some weed, you wind up, there's some, definitely like I definitely remember thinking like, these people don't want to know that I'm collecting toys. You know what I mean? Like it was one of the.
We all had our GI Joes and we played, but we stopped buying them because you didn't want to get caught at a toy store and a girl walks by.
Yeah. I love that.
You didn't want to get caught.
I love that.
GI Joe at 87. Man, that was
right.
Cool. We're 7th and 8th grade. We couldn't do that.
So I made it till 7th and 8th grade for me. I think was in 90. So it was right around 90 that. I want to say 91, because it was like, I just wrote an article about this. It was like 1 year where so much happened. Like they came out whatever year the low light version 2, where he's in the fishnet stocking shirt and all that dumb shit. It was low light version 2. Oh, the Snow Serpent came out with a second version, which by itself is fine, but not as the Snow Serpent number 2. And I was like, oh man, what are they doing? This is not for me. And like that same year, I tried alcohol. I kissed a girl, and then at Christmas time, I was smoking some grass. So it was just kind of like, you know,
probably one of my favorite GI Joes of all time.
Oh, without question. So when I make my all-time list, there's a couple figures that I don't have on there because I didn't get them till way later. For whatever reason, the Snow Serpent was one of them. But I say, when people talk about what's the best 3 3/4 figures from the early Joe line, of course, there's a lot of, you know, like Destro and Snake Eyes are, you know, just like unbelievably awesome and iconic, right? Just from the way they look. They also happen to be the 2 first Joes that I got. So I like almost put them above all lists. The Snow Serpent, I almost feel like is there. I almost feel like he should be talked about as
top 3.
Yeah,
Top 3.
definitely one of the best of any line, not just GI Joe. Any 3 3/4 figure that's out there, there's nothing like that. What goes along with not just we'll get to the figure in a second, but the card art, which I always found to be, and this was in the article I wrote earlier this week about, you know, to me the card art was almost important as the figure, because when you were a kid, like when I held that Shockwave figure in my hand, I saw the card art guy, all the detail and, you know, whatever it was. And the same thing with the Snow Serpent, even though they're wicked close, but it was like the card art on the Snow Serpent. I remember just like staring at it, because before I got the figure, I had the card. Trying to remember where I got that from. I know that doesn't make sense, but it was definitely part of like a trade. And I had the card, and I was like, man, this thing is awesome. Because it was like, when it was out, it never showed up at KB. And then I didn't get it till I think it came out in 85. I don't think I got it till like late 87. I finally got one, you know, and not that I was still well into the Joes, but yeah, I think I made it to like 90 is 90, I think it's 91. That's where, I just was like, you know, the peer pressure kicked in. And like I said, I could play
in the late 90s, but I wasn't collecting Joes. I was collecting like, Spawn and Wildcat and Wetworks and stuff like that.
Right.
I was still getting them at like KB on the clearance rack. You know, I was like, right. No, I'm not paying $5.99, but if they drop the $4.99, I'm getting it. You know.
Oh no! Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to remember. There was definitely something that I remember catching my eye as a teenager. I can't remember what the hell it was. Also, like. So when I was like 11, I had stopped in 2000. I'll fast forward all the way to 2008. I saw a bunch of the 25th anniversary stuff on sale. I didn't even know they were selling it. I just remember like walking in Walmart in the clearance aisle or something, and they had a bunch of shit, and I was like, "Whoa, what is all this?" I got the Fang, the Hiss 1, the Hiss 3, the Awe Striker. So I have them all in the box. Then later that year, my mom must have saw something at Walmart. Also, they had those. Actually, I don't know where she got it. It's the Mass Device on DVD, and so there was 3 different sets. The set that I have has Destro, Lady J, and Roadblock in the Vines. It's like they take a scene from the movie and give you the figures. So Roadblock in the Vines, Lady J, Destro. It was awesome. What a DVD! I watched that DVD as a matter of fact. But yeah, so then that was it. They just kind of, and then I don't remember what figures. It was like 3 or 4 figures that there was like a Snake Eyes and some random guys that I was like, oh, they were like $1. I was like, I'll get these. And I threw them in the closet, didn't think about them until late 2004. I was shopping. It was like literally in December, shopping on Amazon, looking for something for somebody. And I saw the Alley Viper popped up, and I saw in big letters, it said 6-inch. And I was like, 6-inch? The Alley Viper is tied for number 2 of my all-time favorites with Shockwave. So I was like, let me get that. So I ordered it. And as soon as I put my phone down, I went, wait, I wonder if they have a Destro. So boom, I looked, I saw it. I ordered a Destro. I got them both, like whatever, the next day. As soon as I opened the Alley Viper, I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be a problem. And then I picked up the phone and was like, what other ones do they have? And so I started buying all the cheap ones on Amazon. So I was like, and still this day, I don't actually know where the idea came from, because I had not seen any social media about people taking toys. I was off social media completely. I used to do a whole thing, tool review, contracting progress work on Instagram and like all this shit. And I got this one big project and I did not have time for the camera and all that. And I wound up disconnecting from like all social media basically completely until I started using a Twitter account for fantasy football purposes. That was it. Just to like follow reporters and shit. And then I don't know where it came from. My first idea was I had the Alley Viper and I had got Shockwave and I was like, I want to do a photo of them in an actual alley, right? Those are the people that are going to fight for suburbia. And I was like, oh, well, I can't just have one Alley Viper. I got to have two Alley Vipers. So I got two. I wound up buying two more. So I had three and it was going to be three Alley Vipers on one side, Shockwave on the other. And then I was like, well, Shockwave can't be alone. And so I wound up buying a Beachhead. I was like, he looks like he could be a urban commando as well. So I wound up getting the number 10 Beachhead. And then I realized I was like, oh, this doesn't look like the retro. So I bought the retro. And then, the best. So like I said, the Destro Snake Eyes are above all lists. Then the 101 on that list above Shockwave and Alley Viper is Beachhead. He gets the nod over the other two because he had like a real rich character in the comics, in the cartoon. And I loved him. Beachhead was just a shit. And he looks awesome.
It's funny because we're speaking about the movie Tenet, and I met this kid named Travis Moody, and he had a show called A Toy Kind of Mood.
I know Travis. Yeah, I know Travis.
That's my boy. I love that guy. And
that's awesome.
I would just watch a show, and then one day I was at Ross, and I was like, I saw some action figures. I was like, you know what? I think I should start collecting again. And this was the holidays 2025, and then last year I bought 74 action figures. And then that's where I started my YouTube show. But the whole
I love it.
I can only get them from Ross because it's collecting action figures on a budget. But I got 23. I got 23 classifieds from Ross.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I did a show with Travis. He came on to Destro as my spirit animal on a Monday that I do with my brother Mark. And we did that one. And I do believe we have something else coming up, but I don't think it's been announced. So I don't want to say anything about that. That's awesome. No, I love Travis too. Great guy.
Man, that's my guy.
Absolutely. Well, hey, maybe we'll try to get all three of us in the room together someday.
That would be brilliant.
Awesome. So what classifieds do you have? Like, talk to me about some favorites.
Well, let's see here. Obviously I got 3 snow serpents. So, I mean, come on, that's my guy. But nice. I don't know what it is. It's funny because like where they are right here, the ones that are packaged are all up top. But
okay,
I'm loving because I had this one as a kid, so I had to pick. I was so happy when I saw Stalker.
Oh, yep, there you go. That's a great figure.
One of my favorites as a kid, and I also had Rock and Roll. No, I went the wrong ways, right? Whoops. Where's Rock and Roll at? Rock and Roll, where are you at? Oh, there we are. I got to pull back.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Excellent figure. Excellent figure.
My main thing first, I was with the Joes was like, I just want the ones that I had.
Right.
I did the Masters of the Universe. But
same.
How often they are, and then I was like, I'll take anyone I can get.
Dude, that's awesome. That's how I did it with. So after I bought like maybe a dozen or so classifieds, I was like, I busted out those ones that I had from 2008, and I was like, man, I wonder how much these little guys are going for still in the package. And there was a dude who had, I can never remember the exact numbers, but I got like a dozen on-card 25th anniversary figures at like $12 a piece. It was like $150 for 12 of them shipped. And so I got a few of those. Then I purchased a few other ones just to have them on the card because like the 3 3/4 are really awesome. But yeah, that's how it started with. I was like, I'll just get the ones that I was obsessed with as a kid in the 3 3/4 so I could put them to the side. So out of the package, I think I do have up to now like 13 or 14 of the ones that I really, really love.
I was like, I just want the ones from my childhood. And then you find so many cool ones. You're like, no, I need that. Oh, look, there's Mumra. Right. I got to have Mumra. I got to have Silverhawks. I got to have the Silverhawks. I got to have
that's cool.
Mutant Ninja Turtle that's from NECA. I don't know why. I just have to have them.
How do you like the NECA TMNTs?
The ones where they're playing the old school monsters.
Oh, okay.
I've got 7 of those. I love them, like Creature and Mummy and Frankenstein. The Hunchback.
That's great.
I love that stuff. I love all that stuff. I just started getting my first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones that were the actual characters from the movies, and things like that. I just started collecting those. But first, I got the NECA ones, and I was just like, these are badass. I got The Thing, Evil Dead, Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Back to the Future, Alien. I got all those, man.
Ooh, nice.
But,
Back to the Future. That sounds awesome.
These are all from Ross. I only get them at Ross.
That's great. I mean, listen, there's a few dudes in our Twitter community, like brother Conrad Hauser. I know he's very thrifty when it comes to where he buys his figures. Clearance chicken, as he calls it. Like, I'll wait to find it as a deal, or I think there's a few figures that he just was like, oh, I have to pre-order this because I don't want to miss out. But everything else he does pretty well with. Charles Pickle Bowen says, I had a bunch of classifieds too. I must really like a lot of stuff. That's how it works, brother. He also says Dreadnoks are my favorites. Just many such cases. A lot of people that I speak to are really taken by the Dreadnoks. And like, I agree. I think I came to me, it was like, I always wondered how they were any good at anything in the cartoon, because they were dressed like a bunch of metal haired dudes. Like they were which, no pun intended, was Cold Slither, but they were like, they were just crazy people. They didn't seem like they'd be successful. Like I remember the one episode where they're on the space station and where the Fatal Fluffies are there, and like the Dreadnoks are like running the show, and I'm like, these dudes are buffoons. Like they got the whole Joe team like under wraps up here. Like what the hell? So yeah, I always thought that was like something else, but fucking hey, what are you gonna do? But I do like them though. Like I do that Good Morning Post, and I've gone through. I did the movie, the Mask Device, the Pyramid of Darkness, and then I did all the miniseries, and then I started at like episode 1 and have just gone through. And the amount of Dreadnoks in this shit is amazing. It's a lot. Apparently the writers really like them as well. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Let's see.
Speaking of writing, what do you think about the possibility of the new G.I. Joe movie coming out, being written?
Well, so let's do it. I want to be so hopeful, right? Like 100%. So my biggest thing though is like, if you step back and you go, well, what leads me to believe that they're going to do it? When you look at Retaliation, Rise of Cobra, the Snake Eyes origin, most of the cartoons that they've made through the years, which maybe isn't have anything to do with it, but we have zero evidence that we're going to get a good G.I. Joe movie, right? There's nothing in the past that suggests it's coming. Now, don't get me wrong. I own Retaliation and Rise of Cobra. I can put them on and enjoy them for what they are, but it's not what I would want to see out of a G.I. Joe movie per se. They did get a few things right. Thought Snake Eyes looked cool in both, and at least he didn't talk. But anyways, what I feel about the new one is, I guess I'll say there's one of the things that I liked right off the rip, and it was all things that were talked about in that previous interview with Danny McBride. What's the guy's name? Josh Horowitz? Is that who it was? Danny McBride and Josh Horowitz. Yeah. So one of the things he said that really makes me hopeful is that he went to Paramount with a Dreadnought script. Now, that's good for two reasons. One, if you're really into the Dreadnoughts, there's a good chance you know about G.I. Joe as a whole well. So that him sitting at home coming up with a Dreadnoughts movie of his own volition makes me believe that he's a real fan and that maybe he's got the ideas in mind. Also, Paramount didn't just say, oh yeah, sure, let's go. They said, well, yes to that, but after we launch a G.I. Joe proper, where we establish the real main characters, we do all that, then we can get in these other movies. So that makes me think, one,
G.I. Joe do the same thing they do with Star Wars, bro.
Bro, Star Wars and the whole Marvel universe,
exactly,
shows, fucking movies.
Start going, man. It's
dude, fucking, one of the things I keep saying is I hope greed does what it does and takes this over. Because if somebody goes, oh, we could have an MCU style universe type to return by simply just making these movies and making them like these people want.
To write that.
Oh my God, that 100%. So those were two things that happened that made me hopeful. And just about everything else he said in the interview was the same. You know, he talked about still having the toys from when he was a kid. I think that's fantastic. He it's set the overall idea that he had, where it's going to focus on Duke and his team, who Duke is the leader of the Joes, right? The more, obvious General Flag and Hawk and all those guys, but like Duke is the leader. That it's going to focus around that team in Springfield, a town full of Cobras. I don't know, man. That sounds. I'm in. Hearing that they're bringing in good actors, I don't think that indicates anything other than good. They're taking it seriously, but of course they're going to put good actors in it. It's
I'd rather have the actor that should play the role than just a good actor. I hate when they look at all these people's names we're putting in the movie. It doesn't mean they're going to play the character correctly.
Or 100%.
Or even like realistic. And that's one thing I hate with Hollywood. What they do sometimes is they just put a person in there because they're famous, but they don't even have the look, the feel, or the attitude at all. And I'm just like,
right.
Well, stop doing that. Shitty casting just because somebody has a name.
I feel like what you're saying falls under the umbrella of corporate fuckery, right? There's 100 things that could go wrong with them saying, well, no, the focus group said that we would do better with.
You have to get all of them on the same thing. That's why it takes 10 fucking years to get season 2 of something, because everybody's got 400 fucking other things going.
Doing other shit. I totally agree.
Bring in some B-listers. Bring in some D-listers like myself, and give us some shit, man.
Listen, there's something to really be said. Something to really be said by establishing. Okay, so if you've got, say, a guy that is in a comic book where or a cartoon, you've seen their face before. Sure, you want to have something that looks like it, but sometimes that's easier to do by having a guy that's not seen as anything else. Like, so Bradley Cooper is Duke. Yeah, sure. It's American Sniper, I feel like there's a junction there. Not that he shouldn't do it. I'm sure he'd do fine, but having unknowns, or at least lesser known names that haven't been typecast as something else, I think goes a long way if you're trying to establish.
You have at least 2 names on there to get people to come to theaters. You're going to have your Joe fans are going to show up no matter who you put in there. You can have Mr. Bean.
Yes.
We're still going to show up because we want to see the damn movie.
Oh, dude, I would show up to see Rowan Atkinson anything.
After that, it depends on how they do it too. Because if they want to tell a full long story, if you're starting back in NAM and you're going to 2026, people are going to be a specific age at this time, a specific age at this time, a specific age at this time.
Right. 100%.
You're going to have people aged out by the time you get to this part of the show. So you can put people in there you're not going to keep, because eventually they have to die because they're human. It's not like, you can't comic book it all the way out.
Right.
So that's why I would bring in the people in these lesser known characters a lot of people don't know about. Like us, we know all the Tripwire, everybody, we know them all. But characters not going to use. Then you throw in your actors that are like, hey, this guy's pretty good. Get him in there. Right.
That sounds like the makings of good.
Mark Hamill hasn't done anything since Luke Skywalker. Great voice actor, but
right. But that's it. I wonder if that has a lot to do. Does he just keep getting them checks and he just doesn't have to work, or Jesus,
individuals like nobody's business. And then I'm telling you, man, his voice for the Joker I thought he did a great job. His voice stuff is awesome, and even that horrible character he played on Green Lantern, I was like,
oh yeah,
Green Arrow.
Okay, all right. I got those
in chronological order. All those DC shows.
No shit.
Yeah, every one of them in order, bro. And at one point, you got to watch like 23 Supergirls in a row. It's crazy. It gets insane.
So Scorskizio says, should be more of a show like The Boys. Now, so that's a conversation we've had a few times, and there's definitely something to be said. See, I feel like you could do a show about subgroups, a Night Force show, a show about Python Patrol, something like that, right? I think that's great. I think to get the masses, because I think I don't think they're going to go into this thinking that it's going to be a blockbuster hit in the theaters. I think who was the movie that just came out that was fine, and we're going to immediately get He-Man. So He-Man, they're not going to do a sequel in the theaters, but they sure as shit are going to do it on Amazon, on Prime, and so there's something to be said for that, like, as well. And listen, as long I will go to the theater and see a G.I. Joe movie twice, if that means, that we get another one of those. Cause I went and I saw Rise of Cobra in the theater, and I was levitating in my seat after that first scene, like with the Destro background thing. I was like, oh my God, they're going to give us something good. Like, even the way it faded in, it was quiet. They just showed the spinning Hasbro thing with like no sound, and they really didn't hear anything until you heard the horse in the cart, and I was like, oh my fucking God, the hair on my neck was standing up, and I was so excited. And then it was a slow, like, deflating kind of feeling. Now the first scene is still, the Baroness with no accent. I was like, this is a travesty of the highest order. Like, what the fuck? Snake Eyes jumping out of the plane. I was like, that looks right. That battle. I wish they maybe made the Vipers look more like anyways. I was riding the high of that initial scene until a full hour in the movie, and I was like, I don't think this is what I wanted, But anyway, I'm excited for that. Can't wait. What do you feel? You hopeful about it? Hopeful that they're going to give us something that we want?
Well, I do like that he's a fan, so that gives something. But the only thing I'm worried about is because he is a comedian.
Okay. Yeah.
And if he makes it all laughy, funny, jokey, I don't want to be into it. That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
I do believe he addressed that.
Or that he writes a great script and they buy it from him and then they make it what they want it to be, which is the worst thing that could happen to a writer.
Yes. And I think that right there is more or less what most people think is going to happen. That, he's going to pen something, they're going to hand it in, and what we get is not what he originally had in mind, but there's nothing they could do.
And we're going to get a pile of shit. And
we're going to get,
like, oh my God, please don't let that happen. Or
we're going to, please.
Somebody who shouldn't be directing it or something. It goes astray.
Well, he's directing it. I think he's directing it too. I think, well, oh God, so I think I saw that in the chat. Somebody let me know if that's what you know to be true. Yeah, just firing up the laptop here. Oh, look at that. It turned right off again. Holy shit. Not that I need to, but I mean, I had some exclusive stuff to show off from Sys 3D Arsenal, and I was really hoping to have gotten that done. Let me see if they can do something here with the charger real quick. I mean, hey, at least we were able to get this going. We're having a great conversation, and I'm happy. It looks like I'm going to have to order this fucking thing. Like
once he got the Iron Man thing, I mean, everybody thought his career was dead. I mean, he wasn't.
That's true.
A lister at the time. I mean,
that's true. Yeah. I think there was a couple people. I think Iron Man was kind of a turnaround for Robert Downey Jr., right? Like, I think
his career was like, and then he got that
for sure.
It was like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, same thing. You see that one movie.
That's 100% accurate for sure. And I think if I could think about it, and like, and we said that earlier, Anthony Hopkins. Actually, and just since you're an actor yourself, there was something I made a post about the other day, because I like whenever somebody dies and everybody comes out of the woodwork to talk about how brilliant they are, and it's like, well, did anybody tell him that when he was alive? He probably would have enjoyed to have heard that when he was alive. And not that Gary Oldman is going to see my tweet, but I just thought, you never know. You put it into the ether, maybe somebody retweets it.
His role in The Professional was so freaking phenomenal.
Brilliant.
For me, that's his best. When he pops that pill and does that thing.
Everyone, that's like, it's the most memeable thing we've ever seen ever. It's
one of my I love that movie. Not the director's cut, but the regular one, the regular part. And I thought it was brilliant. It's like that's one of those roles where you go, oh, he's not acting. This is this is who the guy is. Yeah. Like when I remember even as a kid watching like Ace Ventura and seeing Jim Carrey, and I don't remember how I would have framed it in my mind, but I for sure remember thinking like, oh, he's not like this.
they didn't tell him to act like this. He's doing this because he's a crazy person. You know what I mean? And well, but no, with all due respect, I don't know the man, but I'm saying,
No,
you know,
that,
he's like
that dude is brilliant at that level to where he can literally become someone else.
become someone else.
He method
I
acts
thought
like, but these crazy ass characters, so it's different than another actor.
Daniel Day-Lewis, I think in There Will Be Blood, bro. I definitely watch. I'm like watching that, and it's like, oh no, and even the accent, the way he spoke, and I don't even know if that accent is true to whatever accent he was trying to do. I just know when I was watching that, and I know a lot of people kind of shit on that movie because it's a slow roller. It's mostly about dialogue and stuff like that, and I get it, but I absolutely love that fucking movie. It is brilliant beyond belief. That even the end, the last scene in the bowling alley with the "I drink your milkshake," like that whole thing is unfucking believable. Elite shit right there. Also, him in Gangs of New York. I would have given him my other eye if I could afford it to be blind. Like that whole thing was just unbelievably awesome. So yeah, shout out to them. But yeah, he definitely said something about Gary Oldman. I just felt like everything he's in is good, and maybe they're not they're not all roles like I was just saying from Daniel Day-Lewis, where he's the lead of a brilliant movie like Gangs of New York and There Will Be Blood and shit like that. But like playing somebody like Zorg from The Fifth Element, like as good as he did that, and then be able to do The Professional, and then be able to do the guy who did he like?
The man has range.
Yes. Oh, that's the other one. Smiley from Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which is another movie that's a slow roller, but I absolutely love because the dialogue is great. It's a good story. The kids are back. What's up, ladies? Everything okay? Same thing. You're just coming down to say hi. Very cool. Very cool.
I think, Harrison Ford might be a little bit too old now for those roles. I'm just saying. I'm not hating because Blade Runner, one of my favorites. But
dude, and he was even great in the one that they did with that the recent one, the continuation with Ryan Gosling. Definitely. Yep. Kalel 327, our carded king is in the house. Thank you for coming through. Down there, appreciating that new central air, my brother. Especially now since everybody on the East Coast is suffering from that massive smoke and everything. We got lucky. So when we left the vacation house, I swear to God, it was like we packed the truck, didn't see it. Came over, there's like a hill right where the turnpike starts. There's a gas station. It's where we always fill up on the way home. And I remember getting out of the car at that gas station and going, what the fuck? I could smell it. It smelled like somebody was burning plastic. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then we got on the highway, started driving, and I was like, oh, it's the smoke. I can see it now. It's right here. And I swear we drove practically out of it because when we got home, we're in Albany, which is halfway between New York City and the Canadian border. And by the time we got home, I remember it feeling like we had mostly driven through it. But dude, holy shit, that it's like this happened a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, where there was like a week where it was on the news, watch out for the air quality, don't stay out long or whatever. This was not that. This was different. This was like the visibility on the highway was limited, and you started to even smell it coming through the cabin filter in the Jeep. So it was freaking ridiculous. Our brother Kalel says, I met Gary Oldman in a casino bathroom. I believe that. Oh God, who else? Who are the other two? Cal dropped it on us one night that he met. There was two other people. He had lunch with somebody, and I remember being like, oh, what? Yeah, are you kidding? I can't remember who that was, but that's great. All right, girls. Love you. Have a good night. I'll be up soon. God, who was that? It was like a Harrison Ford level person or something like that, but it was amazing. After he gets done at the flower hold on, it moved up. Oh, Tom Selleck and Bruce Willis. That's what it was. Oh, yeah, wow. I was like, yeah. Still, Cal, you have a open door policy to come right into the studio and tell that story literally anytime.
I think the nicest people I've ever worked with on set was Lou Diamond Phillips.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Great director. I was on 2 episodes of The Cleaning Lady. And
yeah, okay,
yeah,
okay.
he's just a great guy. I mean, just like awesome
that's awesome. That's awesome. I really enjoy. Oh, my brother Stu for lunch is in the house. What is up, Stu? Everybody, after the show tonight, you can join Stu over on the wonderful podcast Men on Film, but a Figure Fight Club, or actually no, that's on Talib's channel. But yeah, my brother Stu for lunch throws down with them. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're around. Good to see you here. Appreciate you. I'll probably swing by. After I finish up here, I usually go upstairs. I'm getting something to eat. I do throw on, because that podcast starts at like 10:15 or something like that. I think it's 10:15. And it's nice to hear you guys. I was on there. It was a good one. Every once in a while, the people vote, I think, to be contrarian, and I lose my mind where they're like, it was, this action scene versus this action scene. One is clearly much better than the other, but yet the whole, the comment, they vote. And it's like, you guys are, that was the other one. It was which movie character would win in a fight. And it was like, it was a bunch of like humans. And one of the choices was what are the movie Pacific Rim, the big robots, they're the kaiju. Or wait, the kaiju was the bad guys. It was the, what do they call the Pacific Rim? They had the big robots. Whatever the robots were, that was one of the choices. And everybody picked like a person, like John Wick versus one of those. I was like, stop it. Stop it.
There haven't been any good robots since like, come on, Shogun Warriors and stuff like that. We need those old school ones that I grew up with. Transor Z. That was the best right there.
Sister Melted Copper in the house. Thank you for coming through. Can't wait till we reconvene on our usual Monday sessions this Monday. And she's definitely got the info. Jaegers. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I hope all is well. Let's see here. Just trying to see if I'm missing anything. La Bamba, poor Lou died in a plane crash. I remember that too. Was Lou Diamond, was he in Iron Eagle with Lou Gossett Jr.? Was that Lou Diamond Phillips, or was that that was, I can't remember the kid's name. It was definitely somebody else. He might have been in one of the, wasn't Lou, but nice. You know what I've heard a lot of good stories about, not that I know necessarily a lot of people in the business, but more than one person had told me how great John Candy was on set and how good he was to crew members and stuff like that. It's always nice to hear, that people like that. John Carpenter recently talked about working with Sam Neill, and most of what he had to say about Sam was how good of a person he was. He, obviously brilliant actor, but let me tell you about how good of a person he was. And I tell everybody, that should be your goal in life. When you're gone, that people talk about how good of a person you were. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You make your kids proud by doing that. Don't make your kids have to stand up at a funeral and be like, well, we all know he was a little whatever. Don't make your kids have to say that at the funeral. Make them proud when they have to stand up there.
Mario Van Peebles in Heartbreak Ridge. I think that was his best role.
Oh, okay. Mario and Heartbreak Ridge. Heartbreak Ridge is yes. Okay. Yes. Wow. I haven't seen that in fucking a long time. Holy hell. Do you have any like favorite acting performances? Is there anything stand out in your mind that you're always kind of?
I was a really big fan of samurai films. My two favorite films of all time are Yojimbo and The Seven Samurai. So,
okay.
I was big time. I love Mifune. Anytime he was doing something, I was a big fan. But I don't know. And for a long time, I loved action. I was all about. And now that I'm getting older and I'm writing now, I like dialogue. I'm like really big on. I love just great dialogue. Just like The Big Lebowski, that has some of the greatest dialogue ever. Or Raising Arizona, the dialogue, and the Coen brothers write phenomenal dialogue. I wish I could write dialogue.
Fargo is amazing. 100%.
I love their dialogue. Such great dialogue writers.
It's for sure an art form, without question, right? Like they both Kill Bill movies. There's a lot of action in there, but there's some like the dialogue where they finally show, we all know about the massacre at the church, right? But I think it's in the second movie towards.
Yeah.
They show the part that happens before the guns go off, and the two of them just standing on that thing. It's brilliant. Both of them.
It's funny. It's like a lot of independent directors I've talked to is like, oh no, that scene, I think the scene is just too long. No, scenes are long as they have to be, bro. Let the scene
Yes.
roll. If it's flowing, let the scene flow. Just extend it out. It's like when I'm
Right.
writing and I have to kill a main character, I'm like, fuck, but that's where the writing's going, right? So
It is what it is, right?
Series and I'm killing my main character literally in season 4. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just killed my guy. But that's how the writing took me. And it was just like, it has to happen. Like
I feel, yes. I feel like everybody, like after so much television has been released, like and especially say people that our age, we've been watching TV our whole lives, right? And so I think certain things, when you don't let the story go where it wants to naturally, I think it stands out to the viewer as like, oh, they didn't, like, this dude survived this bomb blast because he was the main character, as opposed to, well, they dropped the bomb right on that side of the building. He's fucking dead.
Right after watching, like, The Walking Dead and stuff like Game of Thrones, where they're not afraid to kill off somebody who's a lead. And I like that. I took that and I was like, that's brilliant writing. It's
Game of Thrones.
Nobody ever died, and if they did, they became a ghost.
Right.
Or it was a coma, or it was always something stupid, and you're just like, oh, they come from another timeline. You're like, oh God, please just stop, just kill them.
Right. Dude, when they killed Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, I was like, what?
My freaking
yes.
mind. I
100%.
I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until the final season. Okay, so I had no idea about when it's coming.
Oh no shit. Okay.
Watch it. Here we go. And I got to that final episode of season 1, and I jumped up and I was screaming at the TV and I was cussing. And then I sat down and I was like, man, that was brilliant.
Dude, I brilliant. Right up until the moment it happened, I remember thinking, oh, who's gonna pull out the crossbow in the crowd? Who's coming through? There's no way. And then they cut that motherfucker's head off. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. Like, even though I went, well, like, how long ago was that? 15 years ago that fucking first season? I remember seeing it. I remember standing up, and it was like, that's the only non-sports reaction I've had to it, something on the television before, where I stood up and was like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe that it happened. The one before that was the Odell Beckham Jr. catch when he was a rookie against Dallas in the end zone. I still, to this day, I've never seen anything like that. It's the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. My wife, she was, I think, pregnant and sleeping, and she definitely came out and was like, what? Why are you screaming out here? I was like, look, they're replaying it for the 30th time because it's the most unbelievable thing. But yeah,
they go crazy. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
My wife just got home and they're going nuts.
Oh no, that's awesome. How many pup-ups you got? 1 dog, 2 dogs, 4 dogs? Nice. What you got to tell me about the dogs though, bro.
19-year-old Chihuahua. Her name is Mimi, and then we have 3 Yorkies. One's 5 and the other 2 are 4.
That's adorable, bro. Those dogs
they're all rescues. When we lived so I moved to Arizona 3 years ago, and when we lived in Vegas, our backyard was basically, there's the desert, and people would literally drop their dogs off in the desert and drive away.
You're fucking kidding.
No, while we were there, we lived in that house for like 2.5, 3 years, we found 8 dogs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro. It was that bad. People would just drop off and peel out, and you're like, oh, let's go grab the next dog, Let's feed it for a while before we take it to the vet.
They should be shot in the leg and them left in the desert.
I wish I could have had a sniper post up there.
Oh.
Took people out.
Oh my God, dude. That it's really, really is indicative of a person on the inside, how they treat animals, like 100%. I had one dog who's been gone longer than I actually had him, and it still hurts so bad that I haven't gotten another dog yet. Now, granted, the kids came, and it wasn't a good time to get a new dog with babies, so I kind of was like, whatever. But then even as time went on, I was like, yeah, I don't want to go through that again. He died in my arms. It was awful. It was like the worst experience in my life. I've lost family.
Like it happened to me when I was a kid, man. It was terrible. One of my Oh man, bro. When I was little kid living in Lawton, Oklahoma, my very first dog I ever had, little puppy, and the neighbor had just come back from fishing, and they would fish off a dam with the big hooks.
Okay.
To catch the big old giant catfish that was at the dam. Well, they would dry there. He was drying his hooks on the fence, and I was at school, and my puppy smelled the fish and jumped up, and that was my first dog, bro. Yeah.
No shit. Jesus Christ.
First dog I ever had, and I lost it like that. That broke me as a kid.
Dude. Holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I had Fletch. I got him when I lived in Massachusetts. Had him for about 8 or 9 years, and then he must have got into something that I wasn't paying attention to because he was fine one day, and then the next day he couldn't stand up, and his liver had shut down. His liver or his kidney or both or something like that. They tried to save him, and yeah, I came in. I left him there because they were closing, and they were like, he's going to be fine. You know, there's somebody here overnight, blah, blah, blah. And I got back there at 6 o'clock is when they said I could get there. And thank God I got there because I had 5 minutes with him. And the nurse was pumping his chest. And she was like, listen, you have to tell me when to stop because as soon as I stop, it's going to be over like almost immediately. And I was like, go get somebody else if you're tired. What are you talking about? And then there was another lady that was like, listen, this is it. You say goodbye. You know, no, they were, I'm just telling the story quickly. They were all very great. Bless those people. But yeah, no, I was fucking scarred. It was already that year. I had a lot of things happening personally as well. And it was just one of those massive kicks in the dick. And yeah, it is.
And then in first grade, I brought my 2 parakeets in for show and tell. We went out to have recess. I came back and they had both died. And I was convinced, I'm like 6, 7 years old, and I was convinced that the janitor had killed my birds. And I wanted to get that dude so bad. Oh, I wanted to get the janitor so bad, bro. That was the first time I think I've ever had the just sort of like, I want to kill someone. It was just like, bro, I like, seriously, I think you killed my birds. I was ready to go John Wick when I was like, 7 years old.
Oh my God, dude. I don't know what really happened.
That was my whole thing. I'm like, you're the only person that could have touched those birds, you know?
Right. Well, and as a kid, without the experience of being grown up, when you're a kid, things are black and white. And so something like that is very easy to say, well, you're the only one fucking, you know, there, and you can't be talked out of it when you're a kid. There's no, well, listen, you know, this or that or the other thing. It's nope, you fucking did that.
Probably overheated or something like that. But all I knew was he was the only person that had a key to that room. And he was Colonel Mustard with the pipe wrench in the laboratory. You know what I mean? It was him.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Dude, Clue was actually, I played Clue with my grandparents so much. Clue, what is it? Oh my God. Hate Your Neighbor or 31. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever played that game. It's just a card game that you play. You get, oh wait, those were 2 separate games, 31 and Hate Your Neighbor where. So 31 was you had to get the same suit. Ace was an 11, and then, you know, working its way down points wise. And then, so when somebody would get 31, they could say blitz and throw their cards down and they won. Or if somebody knocked where they were like, okay, I think I have the best hand, and you knock, and then everybody gets one more turn. And when you come out, everybody has to flip over their cards.
Yeah, we had a game in Baltimore like that. It was called, but we called it Tonk. And it was, you try to get 31 or the lowest hand possible. And if you think you were like under 15, you would knock, and then people would try to.
Oh, okay. It's the same thing. Okay, I believe I played that later, and that's how it was explained to me that it was the difference. I'm trying to remember what Hate Your Neighbor was. Hate Your Neighbor was you would always give the person next to you the card you didn't need anymore, and then you had to take it and then give one to I can't remember the ins and the outs, but it was definitely called Hate Your Neighbor. My grandmother.
Animals. I apologize.
Oh, I can't even hear anything. I got the noise cancel.
I'm talking to everybody on the because otherwise they're going to zoom by and I'm going to miss it. So yeah.
Right. Okay. No doubt. Melted Copper says, oh, hold on a second here. Hold on. Now birds are dying. This isn't the nostalgia joy I tuned in for. Coming up next week with SDA. Yes, Destro decides a 4th headset. Oh my God! Yeah.
Here's something for you. Go on YouTube and watch Wolverine Lost Chapters, and you guys can see me fight Wolverine. There you go. That'll make everything better.
Oh no shit! Oh, that's pretty cool.
At first,
Yeah,
movie I ever did was a fan film for Wolverine, and because I had my pro wrestling background in martial arts, they wanted me to do a fight scene, and I get
oh,
to
that's
the
awesome.
I get the audition to to do the fight scene to show that I know my shit, and they give me sides, and they were like, I'm like, no, I'm here for the fight scene. I'm not an actor. I'm a stuntman, and they're like, no, you have to read these lines because you have to start the fight. And I was just like,
Oh my God.
memorize lines. Oh no, I'm not here for that, bro. I'm not here for that.
Right. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I mean, that's terrifying. What was your first action in front of the camera? Do you remember that?
Very
Like what it was like?
we were in the bar, and I remember this bar is out in the middle of nowhere in Arizona near Totem Paw, and the
Okay.
lady who owns the bar does not charge for any movies to be filmed there, and there's been a few movies filmed there, and so I'm sitting there, and we're at a bar scene, and so I'm supposed to have a beer in front of me. So she brings me a real beer, and I just start sipping on it because it's a beer. And then I get down to the beer's about, I don't know, about yay much left in the beer, right? There's about that much left in the beer. And we do the scene. And basically the first scene is just me looking over and then pretending I'm not looking at him, right? That's just basically the first scene.
Okay.
And so we have to do another take, and I look over and I'm thinking continuity in my head. I'm like, well, this beer is clearly not going to be the same spot it was at the beginning of the shoot. So I'm going to need another beer. So I went through 3 beers for one scene. So I was ready to go for that scene, bro. I was ready.
And they were real beers. Beers.
I was sitting there sipping on real beer in that scene, bro. I tanked 3 of them, yeah.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. Oh my God. Well, hopefully at least they were like, Coors Light type, beers where you didn't have.
It was either Miller Lite or Coors Light. It was nothing. My adrenaline was flowing so much. I could have drank a case of beer and I would have been fine. Like seriously, it was my first time ever shooting, being in a movie, my first fight scene in the movie. I hadn't done anything since I was a pro wrestler, back in California. So I was so excited. Yeah, it was.
That is awesome. And well, how many appearances would you say you've made? Do you want to give us a quick rundown of what?
IMDb, there's only about 48 things on there.
Fair. Yeah,
a lot of independent stuff and a lot of commercials that you'll never see. So if you add all the commercials, the movies, TV series, and all the independent stuff, I'm close to 150.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I just booked another ASU student film for a proof of concept, and I'll be playing an ASU professor later next month.
Okay, that's fucking cool as hell. Now, did you have aspirations as a kid to be on screen, or something that just kind of came around afterwards?
So when I retired from the military, I got to the point to where I was like, nobody can tell me anything anymore. So I grew my beard out all the way down to here. My hair was super long. I was just going for it. I was big into powerlifting at the time. I think I weighed like 242 pounds. So I was just this big mountain man guy. And then I met my wife, and we get married, and she had never seen me except for in pictures without a beard and long hair. So one day I shaved everything off, cut my hair, and went into her work, and she literally just started crying. Like she was
oh my God.
Right. And so later on that night, we're at the house and we're talking, and I'm 44 years old at the time. And she was like, hey, have you ever thought about getting into acting? And then you know how God works. 2 weeks later, I got a thing on Facebook from somebody I knew in Aberdeen, Maryland, where I grew up. And she hits me up. She goes, hey, I'm moving to Vegas. I'm making a fan film about Wolverine. I know you did professional wrestling. I know you've done martial arts since we were kids. Would you do a fight scene for my show? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do a fight scene. I understand choreography. Easy peasy.
No shit.
And then I ended up playing awesome. A ninja in that one. And I also ended up playing another role where I had to basically, I was the only person that could hold an 8-pound gun for like 2 hours while they kept figuring out the scene. So I ended up playing 3 roles in that in my very first film.
That's what's up. Oh man, that's pretty. That sounds like a great story and a good way for other people to keep in mind that, like, never give up on like, don't close the door to anything, right? Even though it wasn't something that maybe you had that you had wanted to do as a kid, it seems like an opportunity arose and you decide to capitalize on that. And I think that's fucking fantastic.
I had done in life previously, the martial arts, the pro wrestling, and being in the military would prepare me for a lot of the roles that I ended up booking. So that was really nice. And then I ended up becoming, a fight coordinator, stunt coordinator, and an armor. So,
that's awesome. So that's kind of like God, it's like consulting money. Like I did a consulting job for a plumbing company for a while, and it was basically like I was like I couldn't do it. There was a lot of complicated things. The company was a whole other story. But at first I was like, oh yeah, I could get used to just telling people like how they should do some shit, and then when they do it and it works, they ask me more questions. Yeah, I think I can handle this. But no, it was the company was. Yeah, right.
Talking to those people on the thing. Sorry.
Well, it's all right. Nice. Orskizio says voiceovers. Do you do voiceovers?
I voiceovers.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's fucking awesome. What is this? Melted Copper says Destro Designs is going to unsheath the Viking look. Yeah. So when you were talking about long hair, I also have long hair. I keep it up like this. Because when I, go to work in my daily operations, I just tuck it all the way back, back up in the head. But I've always had long hair. I've told the story a few times. Like basically the only time I've never had hair in my life is my mother. I'm trying to think of the word. No. She definitely was like.
Yeah, no. I actually know my job, and the 22-year-old girl who was on that show who had loaded weapons. So basically, they took the set guns, to a firing range with real bullets, brought them back, and never cleared them. That's what happened. I think that is the biggest incompetence. Next to Brandon Lee getting killed because somebody did not check the barrels to see if there was a piece of metal stuck in there.
I mean, for Christ's sakes. Holy shit. That's what
airsoft rifles, and I clear barrels. You know what I'm saying? I treat like it's real as humanly possible. If I'm on set and I've got some actor trying to play with one of the freaking fake firearms, I will lose my mind. I will snatch that fucker up, man. That's like you're real no matter what. And that works to shit out of me.
Just to get, I think I heard exactly what you said. They took the guns that were meant to be used with blanks to a real firing range, and then used them. Didn't clear it properly when we got back. So it sounds like using live rounds. You would just think that the rule is
prop guns should never ever be anywhere but set. Period.
Right.
Right. You should treat them like a normal weapon. When you're done with them, pull the firing pins from them.
Wow.
I don't leave firing pins in my guns, bro.
That's crazy, dude. Holy shit. I never really heard what exactly had happened with that, other than I know that the one lady was getting in trouble for it and this and that. Yeah, man, holy shit. That is some wild stuff. And I didn't know that about Brandon Lee either, that was the detail, that it was actually, so there was a blank
in one of the barrels.
Oh my God. That seems I
remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a guy, and I think he was on live TV, and it was an actor like General Hospital or something like that. And he's got a 357, and it's got the blanks in it. And he's like, oh yeah, these things are real. Puts it to his head and pulls the trigger, and the impact killed him.
Oh my God.
Yes, this happened.
Holy shit. Dude, that's crazy. I remember.
I don't even like using any of those kind of guns. Just I use my airsoft, and with all of the CGI technology we have now, we can do rounds coming out. We can do barrel flat, and actors know when to fall back and get shot. Come on, man. They're trained. They're stuntmen. So there's no reason anymore to ever use any of that stuff on set. You don't need it because of the CGI is so good now. Well, the CGI kind of got bad, but you know what I'm saying.
Right. What happened with that? That's a good, I should have wrote that down as a question. What happened to that? Because, dude, there's examples people bring up. Like, if you go back to, like, the first couple Pirates of the Caribbean movies, maybe that was, like, the beginning of the end, right? They were still good, with the tentacles, the guy Barbosa, I think is his name. That looks fantastic.
They the hell out of that thing and did all the CGI. It was phenomenal. A lot of mocap stuff. Yeah, really good.
Huh. Yeah, no shit. And then now a lot of people, they basically are just like, yeah, it sucks. Even today, we were watching earlier with my kids. There was some Disney stuff, just like a show from a few years ago, which, mind you, is not a blockbuster production, right? It's a Disney show. It's whatever. But my kids were making fun of it because it stood out so bad. Like this one girl, she was Medusa, right? So she had the head full of snakes. And it was like, it wasn't even moving with her head, right? It was like it was moving off track. And
Clash
it was,
with Titans with claymation, stop motion was better than that probably.
100%, like not even close to the same thing. We were laughing at it. Like I couldn't tell you what happened the whole episode of that show because we were just like, dude, now I'm sure I couldn't do that. I don't know how to do that, but that person should, when you have that is your job, you would think that would be the one. So fucking hey. Yeah, those are good stories. What's like the craziest location you ever had to, I mean, it sounds like that tenant story sounds like one of the more challenging things.
But I mean, it was because of we were so far out that you had to take a bus every morning. So we were catching a bus at 3:30 in the morning to get to set. And dude, and that's one thing about Nolan. Every second of sunlight is used.
Nice.
Because we got golden time 8 times in 22 days, which means we went 15 hours. And what that means is you get your full pay instead of time and a half and double time. Oh no, now every hour you get your full pay, your original starting pay. And for me and the rest of us, background guys that were all military, it was $300 for 8. Plus we were sitting in a suite and getting fed like nobody's business. And it was just phenomenal. Like you come in the morning, I go in, I get a fresh shave every morning. I get a haircut. And then I go grab a coffee, and I go get my uniform, and I go get my gun, and I go get my gas mask. It's just chill, Hey, all right,
nice.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. Jump on the bus.
Awesome. And so you definitely said Lou Diamond Phillips was the nicest guy you had ever worked with, right?
Man, I would have to say that he is number one. There was a guy, I can't remember his name. I did stand-in work for some guy on CSI. It's the newer version of Las Vegas CSI. I don't really watch the show, so I didn't know who he was, but he was pretty cool because he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, look, man, I don't know my lines. I didn't practice them last night, so I need your help." And when you're doing someone's stand-in work, you have to know every position they do because you got to be there for the camera, so they know where they want the camera at all times, and you have to know all the lines because you have to do the lines and do everything. So he was like, "Bro, just run lines with me." So I ran lines with him. And then we did speed lines where you read the lines as fast as you can, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you do it in a different voice, and you do it in a different accent, and then you have it. And so I have somebody who's a lead on a show go, "Hey man, I need your help." That was dope.
That's cool.
Because he knew when I do stand-in work, bro, I no matter what I'm doing on set, I could be background like when I first get started, or I've been the lead for 5 episodes of a TV series. I play that role no matter where I am. Like the camera is on me and I'm the A-lister. Yeah. And doing that has gotten me in the middle of a commercial from being the background guy to getting residuals because I got moved up because of how hard I work as a background actor.
Oh, okay. That's great. So
I've been bumped on a lot of sets to where I end up getting in this position where I'm making residuals because my hard work in the background. Because like I said, I play that role like it's written in the script specifically for me.
That's fantastic.
Doesn't matter what it is. Wherever you put me on that set, it doesn't. I could be the script supervisor, and I'm gonna run it like I'm an A-list actor. Like I'm telling you, it's. I love this stuff so much. Being on set is just like the greatest energy that I can just consume and just take it in. I love it.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's honestly, it sounds like the same thing that I was talking about earlier with Sir Anthony Hopkins, but just a slightly different. Whereas, maybe he was the main guy on the set, but even though the movie itself was whatever, he continued to show up. Yeah. And so I think that mentality of, I'm going to act like I am that main character type energy, no matter where I am. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So when you say with the residuals, it's like maybe the scene was originally going to be this way, but because of how good it looked in the background and how well it worked, they kind of edited it differently, and you wound up getting more.
Basically, what happens is you're shooting early on. Like there's this one where we were doing a commercial and here's the thing: it was a Super Bowl commercial, and I had no idea. So this is before I even became a SAG actor, and I booked a SAG background role in Vegas. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Because I'm going to be making like $365 for 8 or something at the time. It was awesome. I was like, "Ooh, this is big pay," because I'm an independent guy,
Right.
We're in a Korean restaurant, and they put me on the video game. And I grew up on video games. I mean, I'm Gen X.
Oh, that's awesome.
Every quarter I had when I lived in Germany, if it wasn't for an action figure, I was playing video games like a madman. So they put me on there. I bring up Galaga or Centipede, and I'm just playing. They're calling cuts. I don't care. I'm getting my name on the board. I'm just playing. And so after they did like 5 or 6 takes, and I've got the high score. And the first AD comes over to me, and the director, they're like, "Bro, we've never seen anybody with energy like this. In background,
Nice.
we want to bump you up on the next scene, the next part that we're shooting." And since I'm a background actor, a lot of people aren't going to notice me, right? So you can move people around, put a hat on them, put them in different clothes, and you won't even know that person's been in like 5 or 6 scenes. So they take me upstairs because I have to sign a new contract because now I'm going to be a principal. But I don't know that. See, I think I'm getting a wardrobe bump because we're going up to wardrobe, and I'm going to get a bartender's outfit like at a high classy restaurant, right?
Okay.
So there's a contract in front of me, and there's a new figure on there, and I'm like, whoa, time out. Whose money is this? And they're like, no, that's yours. And I'm like, what am I getting this for? They're like, well, for the next scene, you're now a principal actor.
Nice.
Did not click yet, right? So
Right,
I sign
right,
the
right.
contract, go to wardrobe, I go down there, and what I have to do is I take a glass of like bourbon and I slide it down the bar about 8 to 10 feet. This supermodel picks it up and turns to the thing, right? Because it's for this new bar and whatever. So I did it 12 times flawlessly. Perfect slide. All right, cut. We're done. Thanks. See ya.
Nice.
So I'm thinking it's just a local commercial for the hotel because it's brand new. You know, the MGM just bought the park. I'm like, oh, cool. Super Bowl Sunday. I'm at my buddy's house. We're watching KC versus the Niners. And we're all sitting there, and all of a sudden the commercial comes on. And I was like, no freaking way. On Monday, I had an envelope this thick full of checks.
Nice. Yeah, dude, that's pretty sweet. So I see what you're saying.
Next 2 years, I got residual checks every 13 weeks.
Nice. And so that for the commercial. So when they would air the commercial, and every time they aired it, you got.
I did a Jose Cuervo UFC commercial with Tom Aspinall where I play a referee. Tom Aspinall, great guy, by the way. Phenomenal guy.
Okay.
UFC champion. He's a great dude. I know I've met so many. I've been in there. I banged with a lot of those guys when I used to coach at Tap Out in Vegas, the original Tap Out. Great dude.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But, if you go to the Jose Cuervo YouTube channel, you can see it. And they played it again for another 6 months. So I got a nice little residual check for that too. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. That is awesome, bro. I love that. I don't know. Right. I don't know if everybody thinks that they can do something, but I did always have in the back of my mind that if given the opportunity, I think I might do okay. Now, I think thinking you can do something and then being in front of all these people is a completely different story. But I always had it in my head. I was like, man, because they were filming The Gilded Age, which is a HBO show. It's just like it's like a mini series show. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, if you really want to do it, you could go, because there was like an open call for something. Where people in the background, I'm sure you had to dress up as like a period piece. I think it was like the late 1800s or something like that. And ultimately I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. Like I can't do period accents or anything of the sort. And I just kind of never did. But in the back of my mind, I always was like, man, if given this opportunity, I would love to give it a shot. There was
over there with the Outback thing. I actually played an Australian FBI agent for 5 episodes on a TV series called Dark Ops.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Kalal says Outback, right? For sure. I think that's the one. Yeah, that would be great. I don't know if you're familiar with Cal327. He's also in the Twitter community there. He's the gentleman that has everything on card still. Like, so it's I say still, I think he got him later in life, but it's like anytime anybody has a picture or a figure or something, he has the original 3 3/4 on card. And it's been, I feel like still to this day, he'll post something that I haven't seen yet. And he's posting like the stuff constantly. It's so super impressive, brother. 100%. Orskizio says, I did a security exercise where I killed my wife. And oh Jesus, this freaking thing this is such a pain in the ass. Where I killed my wife and the boys asked, dude, where the fuck did you put the emotion from? Well, right. Well, hey, so it was like
learn how to do though is to cry in a scene. That's tough, bro. It took me a while to learn that, but once I did, yeah, it's
Yeah, that doesn't seem like something easy to do, you know. Like strange when I watch the kids and I love the show Stranger Things. It's the one thing that we have that like we can put on and then just sit there and watch and everybody is happy about it. But like even they commented like about some of the kids where they get their little bit, you know, you see the kids crying and it's like, man, as a kid, that seems like, you know, unless you've had some fucked up shit happen to you, how do you pull that out of yourself as a kid? But as an adult, I feel like it's almost equally as hard. What helps you in those moments? Where do you try to pull that energy from?
Well, it's if the last couple times I've had to do it it was so emotional because like a lot of people were a kid dies in the scene. And the scene before, the mother finds the body. And this actress was like losing it. I mean, like you could think that she actually lost someone, right? So all I did was I walked up to her and I said, "Come here," and we hugged. And I just giving me all your energy, and I just felt everything that she was going through. And instantly, I was just like, "I'm ready." As soon as I saw that kid, the dead body, tears just started flowing out of my eyes. I was like, "I'm in there. I got it." So I took somebody else's emotion for that. I just took her emotion and used it for the scene because I felt her emotion being so real that I knew
for sure.
It's like if you're in a scene with somebody and if they're not feeding you their lines, like, you know, they're not into it, it's hard for you to give back. But when you get one of those actors that just want to give, man, it really pulls something out of you and really, especially if you're into the character and just, bro, it just brings this something else out of the scene. It's just so phenomenal when everyone on set have emotion as well. It just helps it pull out of you so well, especially when somebody like you see it and you feel it and you're like, that's real. What she's going through right now, seeing that body is real, and I need that. So I just pulled that right out of her. Yeah,
I see. I mean that definitely, I guess, was maybe something in there of what makes a great cast when everybody can kind of feed off each other and they work well together like that. That's interesting. So what's like the scene you've done with maybe the most people? Like, is there? I'm sure as with fights and stuff, that's got to be something.
Well, not counting background actors, but people with lines, I've had 8 people going back and forth in a scene.
Wow.
And dude, this scene, it was so insane. So we had 8 people, and we had the FBI, we had the DEA, you know, all these different people. And this one guy kept dropping his lines. And then the actress next to me, she started dropping her lines. It took us 8 hours to shoot one scene with those 8 people.
Oh my God.
It got so bad that we shit. And the director came up to me and she was like, "Can you take her lines, please?" And I was like, "Sure, give me 5 minutes and I'll have her lines down too." So
right.
She opens with her first line. I literally take her computer in the scene. And then I do her lines that she's supposed to be saying for that because she kept flubbing it up so bad.
Oh my God.
That's 8 hours to shoot one scene because 2 actors just could not keep it together. And when you have 8, I'm not saying there's 8 different people in there. There's a lot of camera angles and you got to know your timing and stuff. But bro, it got so bad. I had to take some of these lines.
Oh my God, I would be nervous about that because like I have an amazing memory of everything that happened to me before I was like 30. And then after 30, it gets super sketchy. What I had for breakfast this morning, I'm not sure. But it's almost that short term. I feel like I would struggle so incredibly hard with trying to make that work. Oh my God. What's like the most lines you had to remember for a sequence?
12 pages.
Wow, holy shit. So you basically had to know
the movie out. It's on Prime, but you got to pay for it. It's like $2.99 or $1.99 or something like that. It's called California Dreamin', and I play an Italian mob boss's son who is a little bit overzealous. And it's my first time using my New York Italian accent too, so it's hilarious.
Nice. Okay.
There's a sequence in there, and like I said, I haven't seen it because I don't know how they cut it. But there's a sequence in there when I'm negotiating and telling this pro basketball player that now he works for me, and if he doesn't, I'm going to kill his brother.
Okay.
That scene was 12 pages of dialogue.
Damn, that sounds like a lot, bro. Holy shit.
And that's the most I've ever memorized. Now, I've done 9 pages for an audition. That was tough because it's funny. When you put me on set, I'm fine. I get nervous at auditions. Is the weirdest thing. Like I had one with, who was that? Oh, General Hospital. I had it was like 4 pages of this father who has this emotional, just go and go, right? And I did it the first take, got it. Unfortunately, my
That's
wife
awesome.
recorded it in slow motion.
Oh,
It took me 33 more takes to get it right.
Oh, fuck. I mean, of course, right? Of course. Like if she was recording it normally, it probably would have just took you 33 times to begin with. But because she was in slow motion, I've done things. So I record in time lapse and then regular different times for different stuff when I was doing progress videos. And multiple times I had recorded something in regular time, and it wound up being like this 44 fucking minute thing of me doing something. And I was like, oh, that was supposed to be 4 minutes. And because, it's like 10 times faster. So I know what you mean. It's like, and there's nothing you could do. Well, that at least I could run it through the speed up on the GoPro app and then do it again in post editing and still, wind up getting it closer, but it doesn't look as good as when you do it in straight up time lapse. So
I forgot to go deodorant one time to an audition in Vegas. And by the time it was my turn to go in, because I hadn't looked at a mirror or anything, like I was on the bubble, I was next. So I went to the bathroom to check myself, and I had pit stains all the way down. Because it was a really, really
no shit.
Yeah, and I was
my God.
and I had to go in with these giant pit stains. Oh man, that was a rough one.
Dude, that is brutal.
I got that one. I got a call back on that one though.
No. So I actually totally doesn't help you in that situation now, but I just recently found there's a Degree makes one that is it's anti-stain, meaning because dude, I sweat at work hard all day and I wear black t-shirts a lot, and it was definitely staining up the whole, all of my head just had a white patch underneath every single arm. Yeah, Degree makes one now. It's I can't think of what it's called, but it's like an all white thing, and it's the only one I've ever worked that doesn't ruin my shirts anymore. So shout out to Degree, and if anybody's looking for that, should be available in the grocery store.
NJ, no one of a name. I don't think anybody in the film is a name, and it's I know there's 2 films out there also. They're called California Dream, and both came out at the same time, but this one's on Prime. I know that. It's kind of like the TV show that I produced on TV called Red Sands. Well, there's also a movie on Tubi called Red Sands, and it gets confusing when they have a bunch of different names. But yeah, it's called California Dreamin', but it's no G on the end, just the N.
Yeah. No shit. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'll check that out, brother. I have Amazon Prime, so a lot of that stuff sometimes is actually free.
Yeah,
but I'll
watch Red Sands. Just watch the first 2 episodes. That's all I ask. Just the first 2. That's it.
Red Sands, and is that available?
Not even 30 minutes, I don't think.
Is that, where can we find that, on Amazon as well?
That's on Tubi.
Oh, Tubi. Okay, nice. Tubi's got a lot of free shit. That's awesome.
Movies on Tubi, and a couple on Fossum.
Nice. That's I will definitely be checking them out. I was on vacation all last week, and I don't when we first started talking, I thought I was going to have all this time to watch this stuff on vacation, and I brought a bunch of figures to do toy photography. I basically wound up doing one shoot. The one day I had 4 sand scorpions and the desert snake eyes that were going to have a fight down in the sand. And the day that I brought them to the beach, it was legitimately 100 degrees, not the heat index. It was 100 degrees. So I have the Sunbuster, which is like an open face tent. And so I tried to set it up where I could and dude, it was, if I was not in the water, I was pouring sweat. I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this and not wind up throwing at least one of these figures into the ocean, because it won't stand up or some shit like that. So, and like an idiot, I didn't bring any bases to stand them up on. I thought for sure I was going to be able to dig that in.
The big complaint I have in the toy world is there's not enough bases for action figures. Every action figure should come with a base.
I 100% agree. You can get these awesome ones. My brother Chris from Sister Arsenal has these very small circle ones that you could put one on each foot and get a more dynamic pose, and it's a lot easier to edit it out and post. So sis3darsenal.com. Use my promo code DestroDesigns to get 10% off. Well, we're closing in on 2.5 hours, brother. I want to kind of wrap this up. Yeah, I'm really upset.
I want some coffee and some bread.
That's what's up. I'm with you on that. So tell us about your YouTube show. We haven't touched on that yet.
If I can say it in English, I have 2 YouTube shows. One is called Your Favorite D-List Actor, where I just talk about my acting and yada, yada, yada. It's every Friday at 5 p.m. It's good stuff. I usually have one of the old stories on there or something. And every once in a while, I might even do a scene. You never know. And then my other show, which is how we got involved here, is called Collecting Action Figures on a Budget. And my niche is that I only buy action figures at Ross.
That's awesome. Dude, listen, I'm telling you.
Behind me, all my walls. Like I said, last year I picked up 74 action figures.
That's so awesome. That's fucking great. I mean, dude, that's like what you're looking at 12, so 5. That's like 5 or 6 a month, or 6 actually, 12, 12 months, 6.
I was running into people who were also collectors at Ross. And there's one guy's like, hey, dude, there's this one Ross that gets like all the action figures, blah, blah, blah. You want to go to this one? It's way out from where I live. And I'm like, all right, Friday morning, I'm going. I went there and I got 16 action figures in one day. No shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, numbers. I'm not collecting at the pace that I would like to, but it's where I need to be for the show. It's perfect.
No, for sure. Oh, and listen, but there's people, we have varying levels of collection. Most of us that have a lot, we'll be the first people to tell you that, we're just obsessive weirdos. Like it's for no other reason other than we're just completely out of our minds. I bought, I'd have to really sit down and do the math, but I know there was like a 3-month stretch where I bought a disgusting amount of stuff. I also had, I ran into a guy who lived locally. He had like a Python Patrol Trouble Bubble listed for like $25. It was complete. So I was like, yeah, dude, I definitely want this. And then I went to his page and saw that he had a bunch of other shit listed for these disgusting crackhead prices. And so I reached out to him and I was like, brother, look, nothing for nothing. These prices are so low. Is this shit hot? I don't want to deal and then I was like, are you like selling like your is this like your ex-boyfriend shit or something? Because these prices, I was like, bro, I don't think you really understand. I said, you have stuff out here that is like half price of what things are selling for on eBay. And he was like, oh, well, I just didn't really know, exactly where to look for the price. I just figured if it was opened, it was going to be less than I paid for it. And I was like, no. I was like, you're selling these Arctic bats that are going like this on eBay for $60 plus shipping, and you're trying to sell them to me for $15 a piece. I said, dude, take all that down. I was like, I will come pay you fair price for a handful of things that I can see. Oh, nice. Awesome. Very cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nice, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. We'll make sure we drive everybody over. But yeah, I was like, dude, you got to take these posts down. I was like, you can get so much more. And then I wound up going to his house. Like, I think it was like a week later. It was like 45 minutes north. I got to go up there, and bro, he had overbought. That's basically what happened. He had a very high paying job. He lost that job. And over the course of the next 3 months, he had it in his head that he was going to get another very high paying job, and he didn't. And he had racked up all these credit card bills and like all the shit. And he was like, I've got to get rid of it. And I was like, bro, most of this you can sell for exactly what you paid for it. Right. Like just, put it out there. I said, if somebody wants to come and spend a lot, maybe you give them a little deal so you can make some moves or whatever. And I can't remember all of what I bought from him. I know I got a couple Trouble Bubbles, regular and Python Patrol. One thing that he was like, I bought so much at regular price, and then I had set him up on eBay where he was getting good money. He's like, I want to give you a deal for helping. He gave me 15 Python Patrol Vipers for $10 a piece. They were complete. They had everything. I was like, all right, I can't say no to that. And then every once in a while, he threw me a 3D printed Skyhawk, a picture of Zorana card art that was signed by Lisa Aragio, the voice actor. So he was very nice and generous, and he gave me some stuff. And I accepted because, like, dude, I could have made out so well that I could have kept half of the shit and sold the other half for more money than I spent. And I was like, dude, yeah, just so he. And then I think something happened. I know he definitely sold some stuff because he reached out to me at one point and was like, hey, I just wanted to thank you again, whatever. And then I reached out to him like a while back and was like, hey, if you're still selling, I'm looking for this and that. And he was like, no, I've actually stop selling on, think he got a job and he was good or whatever. But yeah, shout out to.
It's a happy ending. It's a happy ending.
For sure. Yeah, I felt bad for him. I mean, what adult wants to be like, I overspent on toys and I have to fucking sell this shit because I just, whatever. I think the wife left the whole thing. It was a bad scene. Awesome. Yes. So tell us where we can find you on all the socials.
Well, I think it's actually on YouTube. I think it's under Walter Wimbs, which is my full name, which is funny. But over on X, I am at TJWIMZ. I'm at TJWIMZ on Instagram. And my LinkedIn and my Facebook are TJWIMBS as in bullshit or bullshiza. And if you want to go on the Internet Movie Database, imdb.me/TJWIMBS as in bullshit or bullshiza once again.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So make sure you are following our brother. Make sure you are subscribed over on the YouTube.
I follow back. It's I got you.
Awesome. Fantastic. That's great. That's great. Yeah, right, dude, for sure. A large part of what I like during the week is toy podcast. Now there's only a handful. Actually, it's gotten much better. Like a year ago when I first got into this, there was a handful of shows on YouTube that were just like there's, I try not to name names for shit that I don't like, but like there's definitely one in particular that I remember watching it and just being like, this is terrible. I was like, I hope it's not like this. It was just a dude and a young guy just shitting all over a bunch of toys, meanwhile having thousands of dollars of it behind them. And I'm like, what is this madness? This is just clickbait, rage bait, shit like that. My brother Conrad, G.I. Joe Guy 84, Conrad Hauser in the house. Thank you for coming through, my brother. We are wrapping up right now. We've had TJ here for 2.5 hours, and listen, I'm excited. We made it through. We had connection issues over here at Casual Destro, and even after I got those resolved, then my fucking laptop just turned off. For those of you that joined in and don't know what that was going on, so I've had massive problems with the laptop. The laptop is fine, except I did something to the battery not that long ago. I don't know if I left it plugged in, left it not, whatever. It basically doesn't take much of a charge, but it always worked when I had it plugged in. And for whatever reason today, I had it plugged in. Let's see. I don't know if that's it. I had it plugged in and it would not, for the life of me, it would not stay on. We once we got the connection issue settled, we legit oh my God. Yeah. I'm just trying to turn it on now because if I can get it to work, I'll let you go and do my commercial for Sis 3D Arsenal. But yeah, so I won't end the stream quite yet. Let's see if I can get it to work. If it goes off again. Nope. It went off again. No, it's not. So I just looked up and I saw that the plug wasn't fully plugged in, and how ridiculous would that be if that winds up being the problem? So I don't know why I have StreamYard on an app, and that fucking thing that would not open, or like a shortcut, I think. And for some reason I could not get that to open to save my life.
Yeah, so I never got an invite and never got one through the thing. I had to do it through X. Really? No shit. I had to email it to myself through X.
Okay, so the first 2 times I sent it, I had a C in with the word rock. I don't know why. And then when I caught it, I sent it a 3rd time and it should have came through. So yeah, man, I don't know. Well, I tell you what.
In 1998, my very first email I ever had. I was living Korea. Yeah, I was living in Korea and I was a big wrestling fan. So it was TJ, Republic of Korea 316 because of Austin.
All right. Well, I tell you what, brother, I'll say goodbye in 1 second. Do me a favor, hang out. I'm going to back out and come in through the computer because it's working now. So just give me 1 sec here.
No worries. Peace. You there? You there? We there? What's going on? I'll turn the fan on.
Okay, there we go. So let me take the other dude off the stage. Man, what a fucking nightmare. So we are still live.
Okay.
real quick. We will wrap this up. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. So y'all, if you want to hang out for a second, I am going to drop, I've been waiting to get this working here. The SIS 3D Arsenal. Let me turn my screen down. Yeah, the SIS 3D Arsenal stuff. I'm going to pull that up so we can all see it. So it was supposed to be an exclusive drop here. So I want to make sure that I get this right. Let me see here. All right. So yeah. So TJ, thank you so much for coming in, brother. I greatly appreciate it. We fought through it. We did it. We got our 2.5 hours in. But yeah, listen, I'd love to have you back on. I feel like there's
if we could meet you and Travis on here, that would be phenomenal.
That would be great. That would be great. Yeah, I've mentioned him a few times. We haven't aligned it up yet. But yeah, listen, I'll reach out to him. You know, if you see him, to talk to him, definitely we can get in here and we'll come up with a whole topic about the Joes, and we will make it work, brother.
That's exciting. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Definitely. Thanks again, my dude. See you on those Twitter streets.
Yeah, brother. Peace.
Later. All right, y'all. So hold on 1 sec. Let me see if I can turn this down. Oh, here we go. So I think what happened is the reason it kept going off was two things. That wasn't plugged in all the way. And also I think I had the whatchamacallit turned up, the brightness turned all the way up. So give me a second here. If I can. All right. So does everybody want to see some dope SIS 3D Arsenal stuff? Now I can finally see the actual chat. Spencer's Layer says, if you have not ordered the Atlas, you need to get your wallet open and take the plunge. You're fucking right. The Atlas is fucking dope as hell. It's one of my favorite things that I own. So actually, G.I. Joe guy, I hope you stuck around for another minute because we're going to be here for a sec. So let me find... Let me do this so I can sign into. So yeah, the problems that I had today with the laptop, I don't know. I have a StreamYard, which is a little, it's a little whatchamacallit. Like it has a shortcut, and for some reason it was not allowing me to boop, boop, boop. And we're also going to talk about the triple T because I hope y'all, I don't know what do y'all think about that? Everybody saw it today, right? I'll pull a picture up in a minute. But the triple T, are you getting it? Is it something that you're interested in? I know that the Sarge, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm way more excited after seeing it, mostly because, dude, the freaking triple T looks, not just the triple T looking amazing, but the Sarge, that's like my favorite Sarge. I mean, is that not everybody's like almost favorite Sarge? I mean, holy hell, it's insane. Now I'm just trying to go over here to do the download. Give me a second. Yeah, let me know in the chat what y'all are thinking because I happen to love it. Let's see, SIS new lockers. I got to name this. I know that a lot of us have already had. You know, like a bunch of Sarges, right? I don't know. Me personally, I have the Mad Marauders one, which was sent to me by my brother Roadblock, which I think is fantastic. I love it. I think it looks great. But also the not the Mad Marauders one, but I did get Conrad actually pointed out to me it was on sale. For the one with Mercer. I wasn't exactly going to get it. Listen, I love the Sarge and everything, but it just was like, I was like, man, do I really want this? Is this something I really want to get? And I wasn't sure, to be honest, but now that I see that one, I think it's going to be great. So let me add some stuff here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get to the triple T. See if there's anything on here that I seem to be missing. Nope. There we go. Nice. So there it is. Triple T. Looking good. If you look at, what do you all think about the Serbendo's Lair says, I love the triple T and the Sarge is stellar, and I already have 3 Sarges. That's great. GI Jedi triple T is easy pass for me. It looks fine. Some good classified, just moving around. Some good classified upgrades. Option to the OG, but have a bunch. Okay, that's what's up. I truly want to see how big it is. Yeah, dude. Listen, I agree. It's hard to guess because if you look at that, obviously it's not to scale with the figure because it doesn't look like the figure would fit into that canopy. So then if you try to make it look like it would be big enough to fit in there, it's almost like, maybe that does work. So yeah, let's now I believe it was my brother Jeremy Kimberlin said that he wants to use that as his Night Force Sarge. And I was instantly like, oh my God, I was already in on this Sarge, but now this looks so much. Yeah, that sounds like such a good deal. The Sarge is great. It's just like, God, it doesn't like, unless you want him out there swinging with the bats and everything, it's a tough figure to weave in. If you're doing photo shoots of like, let's see, where are we now? This is the new locker. Boom. Okay. If you're looking at I didn't download the same one. So I don't know. To me, I think it's going to be dope. I'm excited for it. It's not, it's actually, do we know the price? I wish I knew that, but, Pop Cold says he thinks it's going to look amazing. No doubt. Colel says he's getting it. Or Schizio says not wrestling pants Sarge. I think it's just camo or some shit like that, right? Something like that. Sound is way better on the laptop. Oh yeah, no, my phone sucks. So I'm happy that I was able to get this sorted. I'm pretty sure the power issue was just that. If it happens again, I'll probably just jump back on the phone just to say goodnight, but then that'll be it. But real quick, while I got the time, new Sys 3D Arsenal stuff. Remember, sys3darsenal.com. Use Destro Designs to give you 10% off. And we're going to, drop this bad boy right here. Like, what? So we've got Mass Device Breaker, right? Mass Device Breaker looking awesome. Now, so this has all the awesomest parts of the locker system itself. It's got open and closing doors, which obviously are freaking great. Let me pull up the other picture so I can show you how dope it looks without the figure standing there. But for scale, that was good to have it there. Let me get the comment off. So there it is, y'all. You can have it's a perfect setup because now you've got your primaries. You can have your helmets or any miscellaneous stuff set up on top. But like for real though, look at the secondary storage that they have on there. So if you look at what is in essence, there's the primary is down on the bottom, the helmets are at top, and what is basically in the middle, it's got this insert into the cubby hole that can hold your secondaries. Freaking awesome. I absolutely love it. I can't say enough good stuff about this. Chris said that it's going to be hitting the whatchamacallit this evening, which I'm very hitting the feed on his website, sys3darsenal.com. If you're on Etsy, you can also go over to Etsy and see that he's got everything still over there, especially let's see here, especially the especially if you have the premium Etsy, and you can get the free shipping. I think that's the way to go. But either way, whether you're on the website, whether you're on Etsy, make sure you're using Destro Designs to get your 10% off. And again, you've heard me. I can guarantee everybody here already knows what I've said about not just Sys 3D Arsenal, the company, but about Chris himself. He's a great dude, and like the customer service is second to none. Right up there next to my brother Matt. It's the same thing. Let's see. So that's the new locker. That's going to be live tonight. So you can go over it. You can check that out. Just to kind of throw something else up here. Boom. The new Metacrates, right? This is another one of the new items that are out. So I actually have the Metacrate itself. I think I have the long one and the smaller one. And I can order just the insert to go into the crate. I already have. Now, I'm pretty sure you can fit these inserts into any of the mission crates. So if you've got one of the Cobra ones, you could probably slide it right in there and it could still be the same thing. Now, if you look at the big one, there is 2 items that are removable there. It's the big, it's like the bandages and then the, and like the iodine bottle. Now, I know there's another shot. Let me see if I can find it. Not the Dio one, but with just the meta kits. God, I gotta really organize this shit. What I plan on doing is actually having a whole new setup for the commercials, where there's going to be a pre-arranged video, and you guys will be able to see everything. When new stuff like this drops, I'll definitely be like talking about it brand new and everything like that. There's the new wall. There's the meta Dio tables, wood table. All right, I'm just gonna pull this one up. So yeah, the new medi crates and stuff, but then also don't forget that there is items like this. So here's the new wood table. You can make the tables in the other colors. I have one that's in a black and gray, similar to the Atlas colors. That way I can use it for whatever. And then that's what you build your Dio set out with all of these awesome things. So let me see here. I'm going to take some stuff out. We're going to look at a few more things. Yeah, I don't know what I labeled that one freaking set as. Is this it right here? This might be it. Let me see. Oh, well, here's another one. This is a shot that I did. There is the smaller medi crate. The other one you saw was the big one. But let me see. I love that shot. I think it's great. The little red effect coming in under the gentleman that's wrapped in the blanket. I use one of those small tea lights. Or not tea lights. I don't know what the hell you call it, but it's a teeny tiny jam, and it's really, really dope. But I know I had another medi kit, the one that had all of the med stuff on it, and this is really, I don't have my glasses on either, so that doesn't fucking help. But I'm sure this is like pulling teeth over there for you guys. So let me find something else to show you really quick. You can see that table in action right here with this wonderful shot. Boom. So there you go. So here you see a bunch of Chris's stuff in action. Chris, I've been meaning to ask you, do you have those posters on your website? Can we purchase those posters to put up? Because I actually have the life-size poster of that Alley Viper right there in the back. That looks fucking amazing, by the way. I don't know if I talked about that the last time, but let's see what we got here. Can't read that comment because why does it say? There we go. Oh my God, that's what really happened after Andor escaped Eureka 5. Oh, okay. So here we go. I'm missing some of the comments. Snow Leopard, have a great night, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming through as always. I'll see you in those Twitter streets. Really greatly appreciate you, my dude. Let's see. So let me see what I can find now that let me put my glasses on. I really do fight this glasses thing fucking tooth and nail. And I don't know why I do it so much. Okay. This is the one I've been fucking looking for. This one right here. So what we got here, let me remove this, add this. So this is the new Medi stuff that I was talking about right here. This is fucking awesome shit. This is some of my new favorite stuff. Oh, Chris, that's what I thought, Chris. I wasn't sure. That I should have probably known that off the top of my head, but thank you. Yeah, it's a really nice touch, bro. I think it looks amazing. So as you see here, here's the new Medi stuff. The springboard, you've got the straps on there with the tri-guides. They look amazing. There's the big and then the small loose top Medi crate I was talking about. So I have the big one, the small one. I'm probably going to cop those. But what is also on here, if you look at the top, it is the Medi kit in what is the new style case. So here I've got the green one, which is a laptop. If you're looking in the smaller window, I'll show this in a second. And then this awesome, the 788 one, boop, that's got the chemicals in there. So it's this style crate, but I really think that the inserts are great. But that red case, the new case, it's got the scissors on the top, the different bandages and everything. That shit's fucking awesome. I absolutely love it. And so, yeah, I'm glad I put my glasses on because I was able to find that in like 2 seconds. So that springboard looks fantastic. I feel like, you could mount that onto the side of just about anything, like the vehicle wise, because if you're trying to put like dock stuff, somewhere. We got to get Doc somewhere and get him out there, or Lifeline with his nice new red springboard. I just think it's awesome. So let's see. One more thing I wanted to touch on here is I have one of these myself, soon to be two. Here is the apparel that you can get from SisterCityArsenal.com right now. What we have there is I have the one in the bottom left-hand corner. I fucking love it. It was instantly one of my favorite shirts. I actually have it right here. For those of you that didn't see it on me, this is the one. I'll throw that up in a hot second. They're awesome. Top quality shirts. They're comfortable, true to size. I got a large and it fits me exactly like it's supposed to. But if I keep fucking hammering down on cookies, cakes, and junk at night, I will be in a much bigger size. Serpentor Slayer, what if Sister Arsenal created something to stow the Moe's mind slings? Listen, a lot of the stuff that it's a great idea, and a lot of the stuff already kind of works well together. Matt has said that he definitely takes into consideration the size of the mission crates when Matt makes certain things, and that's including the back of the Atlas. So for sure, that's what's up. Orskizio says, I need a 2x loose fit. I'm not sure whatever he's got listed there. I'm sure if you reached out to Chris, you could probably try to work something out with you. Mike, you can reach Chris. Any of the social media DMs, I believe that would be correct, right? Chris, we just hit you up on the DM, and if there's something to be done about the size, but I promise you, they're all dope shirts. I've got my eye on the one in the top right corner. Next time I put it in an order, it's going to have that in it, and that is that. So make sure you are checking out. Yes, so just reach out to Chris in the DMs of any of the social media. Make sure you are going over to, if you didn't see anything tonight that you're super interested in, trust me, go over to sis3darsenal.com, see what you got going on over there. There's all different kinds of stuff, all of which you will find is amazing. sis3darsenal.com, use Destro Designs to get 10% off. You can also use, let's see here, you can use Destro Designs over on the Etsy. If you have Etsy Premium, what you can find is yourself, you can find yourself the, oh good Lord, you can find yourself with some free shipping, and that's that. So yeah, again, supporting a great guy, sis3darsenal.com. Chris, thanks again for letting me launch the new stuff. Hold on a second here. We'll go back to that real quick. And once again, going live tonight, this is the new locker system, which definitely is going to have to go on my cart. It's absolutely incredible. I think they all the different parts for the helmets, the primaries down low, that shit is amazing. But what really brings this way over the top for me is the secondary where you can hold it. Because remember, y'all, you buy, I know space is like such a super issue. You buy stuff like this, not only is it a great toy dial piece, it's a great display piece to kind of hang out. And it's got the, storage. You can actually store stuff in there. Matt from Moe's Mind says, I got to see walls set up on a shelf at Joe Fest. They are legit. No question. And like, that's the stuff too, that, let's see, I know I got another one of these I can show. So the thing with, I know I got a Joe Fest wall set up. Hold on one second here. The thing about the issues with space is that all Chris's stuff is so modular that you could break it down and put it right into a box, and then that's it. You're good to go. Oh, hold on. That's not the right one. That's the table. Well, here, while I'm finding the right picture, take a look at what Chris had going on at Joe Fest. Look at this amazing setup. How awesome is that? We all oohed and ahhed over this that first night, dude. It was so ridiculous. I was like, look at all this shit. Wall display. I think this is the one. Let's see. Yep, here we go. So right here, this is what you can look at. Look at what you can make with all Sis3D Arsenal products. The walls, I believe the floor. Yeah, the floor also. All of the bits, bobs, and pieces that are in. To quote my brother Chris from Full Force, those bits and bobs are everywhere. All the tables, the lockers, the bed, the jailhouse doors, the doorway, in the middle there. So the bottom level, the middle. I have a set of those doors. They're freaking awesome. Actually, I have two doors. They've been super helpful in a lot of Dio stuff that I've been doing lately. Like just zoom in. If you're watching on YouTube, just take a look and zoom in at all this stuff. It's just ridiculous. I'm buying shelves just to start getting those. You damn straight, for sure. Spentor's Lair, that's Matt from Mosemine. Spentor's Lair says, Sister Arsenal is a 5-star, everything you can imagine for dials on the site. It really is. Oops, sorry, wrong one here. It really is. You can go over there, you can build yourself a whole world with all of that. Yeah, just zoom in and look at all that awesomeness that he's got going on there. That shit is just crazy cool. Like, you can't beat it with a freaking stick. Let's see, I'm going to add this one right here. All right. So, yeah, sis3darsenal.com or over on Etsy. Remember, Destro Designs will get you 10% off both Etsy and the website. The website's also gorgeous, by the way. And follow Chris for all these amazing shots that he does himself. sis3darsenal.com is over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. He's on just as many as I am, except he actually loads stuff. I got a couple websites that I still have to load up some stuff. So my brother, well, we're going to move on here to Matt from Mosemine. This is one of my new favorite things that he has right here is the part of the mags line is the shield. Absolutely amazing. You know what I didn't upload is I did a whole new shot for the slings, and I didn't load it up here. Damn it. But what I do have is, yeah, so these right here, these are amazing. If you look, it's got the secondary tucked in that actually comes out, can be held. It's actually a model that's been known to be put on the back of these riot shields, which is amazing. Also, the coolest thing is that it's an ambidextrous one. So you can put it in either one's arm. The one that came with Shockwave and Road Pig is like cool-ish. It's just got the dumbest thing done to it, that the little blip for where you would put your primary or your secondary over is on the opposite side of the way the guy has to hold it. So he'd have to go like this to do it right and hold the shield like this and go like this. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Well, Matt solves that, and boom, now we've got this. Orskizio says Shockwave is a brand new shield. You damn straight. Also, I'll be giving these to I have 4 wolf spiders who are my troop builders for Strike Team Fangbuster, a even more elite sub team of Night Force. And so these guys are going to have those, and I think that's going to be great. Nope, no, dude, this is my first podcast in 9 days, and my voice is actually cracking a little bit. We're gonna get through this and end it properly, though. So let me go find some other stuff here from Matt from Mosemine. Oh, okay. Here's something we can look at real quick. On the total opposite end of the spectrum, this is the Atlas. Now, I've got a video coming to the Atlas. I've taken I do love Shockwave so much it brings a tear to my eye. Or Schizio, yes, also maybe both. Very funny. Y'all don't understand how awesome this thing is. It is a absolute masterpiece. Now, to remind everybody as well, no HasLab this year. If you're thinking to yourself, I was really looking forward to investing in something that's worth my money that I'll enjoy. This thing was built with toy photography in mind. There is an insane amount. I've had this thing for, oh my God, Matt, we're probably looking at a year now. And the only thing I can think of is, I still have yet to use its full potential. So we will be getting some new shots of that coming soon. I've been slowly working on something behind the scenes for both Chris and Matt that we're going to have and be able to show the new stuff off, and then kind of will always be circling back to the classics. But there is the Atlas. Now, something else, I'm going to drop this in. Boop. This is a great shot. So here we've got Footloose holding his tablet. Let's see here. Where is the new file? Where do we go? Mose. Where's those tablets? I know I got one that's like all of the tablets. Tablets. There it is. Boop, boop, boop. So here's all the tablets. So to me, you're not going to find a better deal on the internet. I think right now you get all 3 of these for $11.99 plus shipping. Matt, please correct me. I'm pretty sure I try to remember the prices here. This is the slings are 3 for $19.99. No, this is not Gridiron, my brother. This is Matt from Mo's Mine. Well, wait, I'm sorry. The drone, hold on. The drone in the back is Gridiron, but the tablet in Footloose's hand is Matt from Mo's Mind. So let's see here where we go. Oh, yes. Where are we at here? Spentor's Lair. Yes, I was trying to launch that. We're wrapping that giveaway up this week. I keep getting these little trickles in, and it's like I just kind of keep going. Like, okay, I'll wait till it stops. I'll wait till I don't get one for a week. But we're at a point where it's time to do the giveaway. But yeah, no, Operation Dragonfly. We had sent the Dragonfly over to my brother Mark Potter. Shout out to Mark. That's been a success. Right now, what we have is the giveaway with the Serpentor, the Mutt, the Junkyard, where is it here? The Mutt, the Junkyard. Christ Almighty. Hold on one second. Yep, the Mutt, the Junkyard, and the Night Force Big Ben, and then the fourth and fifth prize was Country Gentleman is sending a HasLab Cobra Commander, and then the fifth place is after those are drawn. Somebody that hasn't already won one of those will win a hand-drawn piece of art from our brother Cletus of Cobra. So yeah, that one right there is still ongoing. I've had a couple people reach out like, oh, can you? I'll send the money next week, and I don't really want to draw it. I would hate to draw it and give a winner to somebody that hasn't actually paid yet. So I'm kind of drawing it all together, but we are looking at within the next week or so of drawing the winners and getting that going. That's what's up. So yeah, these tablets are amazing. The detail is totally off the charts. What's going on the screens is totally amazing. And dude, three of them for $11.99. I mean, come on, we're talking really, really dope shit. Yeah, let me put those back up while I go and I grab another picture. Boop, 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 boop. So yeah, so this I mentioned it last week. Just hadn't had time to upgrade and do the whole thing yet. But what's going to be happening is I'm going to have a pre-made commercial of stuff for Matt and Chris. And what's going to happen is, let me remove this from the studio. What's going to happen is it's going to allow me to play those in the beginning of the show when there's more people watching, and then kind of keep it moving a little bit faster. It'll be a little more seamless. But then whenever the gentlemen drop new products, I will be able to load them up like this and be like, oh, okay, here we go, boom. And then talk about them. But yeah, no, it was. I really thought we were going to explode past $1,000, and we are not there. So I was kind of hoping to maybe get that together, but it is still doing it. We've technically made more than if I were to go sell them outright on eBay, all of the stuff. I think right now, mine is priced to fourth and fifth place. We've kind of got that money back, which is good. I've had a couple people made some big donations, and then, hey, look, times are tough, but the community has once again showed out. And by the time I ship that money over, it'll be something good. So nope, things are doing well. Let me grab something else here. Where did it just go? So we've also got binoculars. There they are right there. Pull these up real quick. So here you see, this is our boy Duke. Got that nice set right there. Totally awesome. Again, bad money here. Or excuse you, I believe me. Listen, I totally get it. And I even hate saying anything, like, oh, I thought maybe we were going to be able to get a little more here or there. Times are tough everywhere, brother. I go to the grocery store, like we spend, basically my wife still spends what she always spent. And then I go now and spend the same amount every week. Because the groceries were one thing for her, and she's like, yo, you can only stretch this dollar so much, and she's not kidding. Believe me, I'm a thrifty shopper, and shit just is what it is. So let's see here. Mo's. God, I got to get this so much better. Here we go. All right, so here is something else. So there's the binoculars. They're absolutely amazing. You definitely make sure you go over Mo's Mine Custom Design over on Etsy. I will put the link in the, oh shit, you know what? Hold on a second. I can do that. Give me one second. Let me add this to the stage. So here we go. What we have here is the slings. They're 3 for $19.99. Absolutely fabulous. and they can be used in a 1-point sling, which is what you see here, or a 2-point sling. So what you can have is you can have your stock and then your barrel held. And Cal, that was the goal I was hoping to get to send. Not quite there, a little over halfway there, and I don't think we're going to quite get there by the time I send it, and that's okay. That was listen, it's a rough year. It doesn't matter if we're raffling off stuff or not. Now, with that said, I didn't get to put it over on Instagram this week on vacation. I was going to do a whole separate video. I will be doing that at some point tomorrow night, and then try to get a real big push, because when I launch it over on Facebook is slow attraction, but Instagram, I know I got quite a few followers over there. So I think we're gonna try to get in on that over there. I was considering even doing a live to really grab people's attention, but we'll see how that shakes out. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm going over to Matt, and I'm getting the Etsy, thing, and I am going to put this, let's see, in the comments. So any second now. And there you go. So that right there, link in comments, that will bring you to Matt's Etsy shop. Destro Designs 10 is going to get you 10% off your purchase. And as you can see, Matt's got the wide range of stuff, from the very inexpensive all the way up to a great investment price for the Atlas. There's a lot that goes on there. Also, damn, Matt, what I don't have is, hold on a second here, the new colors in the bar, and let me see if I can pull this up real quick. And why is it not showing up on the front page? So here we go. So there are new colors to be added to the bar. There is the chocolate chip, the Digi Snow, the woodland, and the trench viper. So these are all really, really awesome. I think I should be able to get these sent over real quick. Let's see here. They're all awesome. Now, Matt took real care in trying to get that trench viper color right. I sent him a few pictures, and I loved, he kept kind of apologizing, like, dude, I'm sorry. Is there, because we had to go kind of back and forth. There's, glare, because I was taking terrible pictures, and he was trying to get the color right that we went back and forth a few times just to make it right. But yeah, I'm gonna throw over a couple of these, and we're gonna take a look at some of these new colors. It's just as if, like with Chris, I'm always suggesting to people that what they should do is they should go over and check out everything that they have in a website. Like, regardless of what you think you're in the market for, or what you can afford right now, I assure you that going over, taking a look is really going to serve you well, because you'll probably go, oh, you know what, geez, as a matter of fact, like this looks right. I think I can probably maybe get one of these. And all right, so here they are here. Let me download these. There's this one, there's that one, and and oh wow, Cal, thank you very much. I just got the notification on my phone. I greatly appreciate you, dude. That actually is a sizable donation that puts us much closer. I hope you don't mind me mentioning that. I just felt that's pretty amazing, and I fucking appreciate you, brother. You continue to be just an absolutely amazing member of this community, and I cannot thank you enough. That actually puts us quite a bit closer. So we are looking at 3/4 of the way there, basically, I think, at that point, or damn near close enough to it. Thank you, Cal. I greatly appreciate it, and I know Brother Animus does as well. Let's see, Matt Snow. All right, so let me get one of these pulled up. And but yes, dude, really, that is incredibly generous of you. I cannot thank you enough. Fucking A. Let's see here. So now I'm gonna go here and pull that one up. So that is the sling action right there. Remember, like I said, it can be used as a 2-point, like for Tunnel Rat and his big hog that he carries around. I use it as a 2-point sling, and there it is. So here is for all the coming Arctic stuff that we have the Digi Snow camo. Look at how awesome that is. So you can get the primary color as a darker or a lighter, and then you have that digital camo. So let me just do a little bit more dancing while y'all are looking at this. Studio. Serpentor Slayer. Yes. I mean, actually, I had a sign off thing for it, and I actually meant to get it out earlier in the thing, but dude, I was so derailed from my inability to get it together earlier. Y'all don't know. I mean, you do know because it was 25 fucking minutes before I finally got on air. But yeah, dude, it was pretty unbelievable. So let's see. So here we go. I got the Trench Viper one now. So let's see. I got this one. So that is the Digi Snow one. Looks absolutely amazing. And this one, I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite because they all look really freaking cool. But this one right here is going to be useful. If you see up in the background, I've got all my Fort mods and my Trench Vipers, which I absolutely love. And now I can have an official Trench Viper barrier. Now, because I already have a bar that is similar colors, I considered maybe just getting a few of these panels to put out in front of a Fort mod. And as you see, they form that nice little V at a little angle. It's a perfect way to shield, say, a Trench Viper with one of his big mod deuces that they come with, right? Have that sticking right over, big honker right over the middle. I think that would look absolutely amazing. It's really, 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 really awesome. Let's see here. I listen. I try really hard. Serpentor's Lair. I definitely need to put a little bit more time into the production and not just like sit down at 7:15 and do everything I can to be ready for this time and this time. It's I definitely got to do that. There's no doubt there. But we will let's see. I'm really sure. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add this one anyway, and let me get back over here. So now here we go. Now these last two that I'm just renaming so I can fucking find them is something that goes a little bit more with like regular Joe colors, and that one is here. And if you knew how computer illiterate I was, this is like a feat unmatched by any other human because I'm just so insanely ridiculous at not doing this stuff. But here we go. We got the woodland. Now, if you look at that woodland with that black, I believe that's black. I think that looks freaking ridiculous. As much as I love all of the old, as much as I love like the classic Joe colored outpost, which is just that regular green, man, there's something that hits like 80s Rambo camo colors or something, right? Like I'm trying to find a better descriptor than that, but I just think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. And I'm going to wind up probably, you could do, I think those colors will look so good with Mutt and Junkyard, like them on a patrol. You have a nice little woodland barrier there, and to kind of serve as a, something that they can stand behind, or maybe there's a grunt or something like that back there. I don't know. I feel like there's so much to do with that. So let's see here, and boom. And so finally, we've got one more here that is also, again, the Arctic theme shows up at a great time when we're about to get all of the Arctics. But also this one here, because as we know, per the my brother Mark had all of those great leaks. So we know we're getting a bunch of desert stuff. So this right here, absolutely phenomenal. Again, you have the primary color and then the camo. I think those options are really, really fantastic. Like that light color is listen, they all look amazing with the black, because I think black just looks fantastic. But with the tan on there as well, just oh my god, dude, just so damn good. Like really, really awesome. Command or Skizio, thank you. Commando colors, yes, I agree. Like a OG beachhead kind of thing, something like that, for sure. Chris says I need some ice cream now. Yes, I'm actually starving like a motherfucker. What time is it? 11:15. All right, yeah, we're gonna wrap this up in a hot minute here. Serpentor's Lair, thank you very much. I believe me, I may do for the community does for me all the time on a daily basis. It's again, I love being a dad, being a family guy, like everything. That's all awesome and is always the primary thing. But outside of that, I'm a whole other person, right? That enjoys certain things, and this community, everything that I do, it really scratches an itch. I feel like I'm a better dad, a better family person because of what we do here, and that's because the community rocks the house. I found later in life that helping people genuinely makes me happy. I don't know. It's not. It was always that way. I always had a thing. As a contractor, veterans, senior citizens, anybody that needs a hand. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on a job and just like, when I had the ability to say, okay, I can tell you're on a fixed income. Here's how much the parts were. Just give me this little bit and we'll call it even. And I feel like all of those things have always come back to me tenfold. So that's pretty freaking awesome. And again, Cal, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. It's incredibly generous of you. And okay, so we're going to go on to one more thing. This right here, I absolutely love this. I love this. This setup is really, really cool. The colors, the different screens that you have, like all of it. It's all absolutely amazing. Some of my favorite shots that I've ever done were all for this same one. When I did the actual video for this, which I'm probably going to repost sort of soon, it was freaking awesome. It was so much fun to do. I did it all in one night. Couldn't freaking believe it. Just a ridiculously cool piece. The ingenuity behind it too is really like how it's set up. It can run off batteries. It can run off the USB. It's got a little plug that goes in, and then you can use a remote. So as you see here, imagine if I wanted to change the color on that and I had to lift like that reach manually to do it. That's difficult. But with the remote, I don't have to move any of the figures. I just boop, 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 change it to see what looks better. Done deal. So that is the Oracle from that. Again, absolutely amazing piece. Make sure you check that out. Now here's just a lower level shot of what is the Outpost. I'm actually going to show you mine because I've been meaning to put a better picture on here. I'll pull it up in a second. There's the front here. You know what? I'm just going to show it to you. So I absolutely love this thing. This and the Cobra bar were the first pieces I got from that. So here, everything Matt does is gridiron compatible. So anywhere you can put something like this, as you see, I got my gridiron. This came on top of that same drone actually. Or no, this came with my walker. But you turn it around and look at all this awesomeness. So you got a backpack rack on each side, functioning little cabinet shelf. It comes with a Modus that's belt fed from this right here. Absolutely amazing. I love setting the sandbags up around like this and putting a couple like snipers up here. Or actually the other thing I like, man, I had this glasses on for a while. Everything is super fuzzy. And then also this came with the 60th anniversary infantrymen. So I load up sandbags on each side. It's kind of like just a higher elevated, something like that. It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's all compatible, mind you. So now that I got the widescreen, I can actually show some shit. So these two right here would connect together. So if you took this piece off and this piece off, they would go together. You know what? Let me see if I can do it real quick while I got everybody sitting here. And thank you all for being so incredibly patient tonight. It's been a rough ride with all the different things. The only thing that I can say is that I'm beyond ecstatic that I was able to get it together to do this part for my brothers. I especially, I had some new stuff from Chris to show off. So, here we go. So I don't know if I've ever shown it together, but look at that. it's now connected. It can rotate. So look at how beefy and awesome this thing is now. So you got this whole, you could slide it out. It's, you know, you really got quite the, you got the, oh yeah, there you go. So you can tip it to go full range of motion. You can have it watch its back. It can slide around like this. You can almost put it. So this way, if you look, it's like in the back. So the guy's standing in the outpost still. That's the rear. You got this huge cannon watching your back. Dude, I mean, how awesome is that? Now, I think it might be hard for me to do with the bar, which I have the bar in Joe colors, which I freaking love that thing. The Joe colors just look awesome. It is what it is. I don't know if I'd be able to get the bar on there, but we are going to give this a shot right quick. Hold on. Let me put this back together. And look how awesome that is, the modular ability. You just slide that thing together like this. Fucking, do I got that? Oh, there we go. And the pins. And they all go together so easy. It's ridiculous. So I've never actually put these together on the show before, but we are doing it right now. And I've had this shot planned in mind to put these together, all three of them, because all three of them can go together. And if you bought multiples of any of them, it would all go together as well. And I got dandruff out the wazoo today. All right, so here we go. Get it in there. All right, now we're talking. So here, that's how they would go together. So look at that. Look at how big. I can't even fit it all in the screen. You could even make it go all the way around like this. Oops. And it could connect together. Look at how awesome that is. But even if I go like this, I leave it open with the space in the back. I could connect it with the bar in the middle, or I'm sorry, the arc cannon right there in this space. I could take these two panels off and put that right next to the outpost, and then use those two panels to space something else. I mean, it's just like, look at how awesome. Bar wall as a spacer works a little smoother. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So putting a bar wall in between. So this, hold on. So you could take this, Jesus Christmas, let me go lower. So you could take this piece off right here and then, or I'm sorry, disconnect it here and then put the arc cannon in between those two. And then the arc cannon would have the absolute full range of motion. So I think, God, man, I've had this idea of doing a whole video of showing me just putting it together with like an aerial view. And now that I kind of have it together like this, because you can make the ultimate Joe base like this, like legit. You start off out here. Here's the outpost. It'd be like something you could drive into. And I said, you see, oh, we're talking about ice cream. That's awesome. But yeah, so hold on a second. Let me just see. Right. So what you can also do, let me just disconnect it like this. I could take that off. So look, I took this portion of the bar, which is half of the bar, and now I've got it here. And I can go like this and look at it, makes a whole back section, right? And then I can hook the arc cannon up to here, and now it would really have a full range of motion. You're really watching your back. And then you could even, whether you want to connect it or not, you could put this whole other piece, on here. Yeah, it's a ridiculous set that when you put it all together, it's just amazing. So I'm happy now that I have the widescreen, I'm able to kind of do that. I couldn't do it before because there just wasn't enough room. You couldn't see the full like width of it all. All right, let me try to put this back together. Now, when it comes to freaking top quality, let me tell you something. Like I said, I got that green outpost and the blue bar that's right there, actually right behind the trench vipers. And I was so excited. I opened up the bar and it fell. I had it on top. I had the bar out. I put it together, and then I had the outpost was still in the box. I had the bar on top of the box. I was running down my stairs. I was so freaking excited. My foot slipped out from underneath me, and boom, I dropped the bar. And the next thing you know, it went end over end down my hardwood stairs. And let me tell you, with every time it hit in my head, I was like, oh my God, this is 100% going to be busted into 50,000 million pieces. And guess what? It didn't break at all. Like not a little bit. There was one, well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say not at all. There was one teeny tiny, barely perceptible piece of plastic that came off. And I didn't even know that happened until like a week later when I was taking a photo, and I was like, oh, what's that little piece missing there? And I was like, oh, that must be what fell off. And it was, but it was so minuscule that I didn't even notice. And that I was like, I fucking it after it had fell too. Like I was definitely all up in it. Like, what's going on here? So, whew, yes. So you want to get yourself some of this stuff. Basically, I always talk about, if you like my toy photography, it's because I have it chock full of stuff from Matt and stuff from Chris. I'm getting better at the actual photography aspect, but some of this is just, it is what it is. Let me try to catch up in the chat here real quick. We need to do an ice cream themed show now. Listen, I am gaining pounds by the second. I used to have a nuclear grade metabolism that just I could eat whatever I wanted at night and it would just be gone the next day. It's not quite like that, but I will 100%. Yeah, ice cream sandwiches or ice cream shoulder. Yes, give us the ice cream shoulder. Fucking right. Those wall extensions are just insanely awesome. They really are, dude. You can, because you could take those play sets, you could take the bar apart and connect it to the other pieces. It's modular ability. Like, it's the child in me wants it like nobody else, right? I think it's why I like these two guys' stuff in particular, because they're all because it's all stuff that I would have wanted as a kid, right? And just as Matt says, it's all customizable color-wise. Or Skizio, Stewart's ice cream is so good. So if y'all don't know, Stewart's is what in essence started out as a gas station that turned into one of the things that like upstate New York, maybe the Northeast, is known for, with a gas station that's like part fucking grocery store. Like, you can go in and you can get a deli sandwich and there's meatballs in the warmer. There's fucking Gatorades and booze and all that. You can get your lottery tickets. You can get your this and that. It's got small couple aisles with basic groceries, potato chips and, ketchup, mustard, stuff like that. It's got a small health and beauty section. And the coffee, really. Like, so that's where it started out. The Stewart's coffee it's still good, but I definitely feel like they're not trying as hard as they used to. So yeah. Anywho's, yeah, or Skizio ice cream, but their ice cream is actually fantastic. And if I remember reading correctly, that, what do you call it? Stewart's was just voted the best milk for like the third or fourth year in a row. So if you don't know, Stewart's, matter of fact, bang, there you go. Stewart's-ing it up like a motherfucker. So yeah, Matt, I will drop the link because it's probably way back in the Etsy by now, but I will drop that link. One more time. Oop, that's not what I want to do. Hold up. We will drop it. There it is. So one more time, there is the link to Matt's Etsy shop. I will put it in the show notes as well. That I was so frantic trying to get this shit to work. Like, I couldn't get the StreamYard tab to come up. And then finally I just went through the browser and then it wasn't allowing me to create the stream. And I was like, what's going on? Is StreamYard fucked up? And I was like, let me just check the Wi-Fi. And I could see that the Wi-Fi was having a problem. And it was, oh my God. And honestly, the power thing, it's got to be because of that whatchamacallit, it was unplugged. It literally just kept shutting off and couldn't hold enough power. Was it? I don't know. I know electrical work is one of the things that I do, one of the services I offer, and without metering it, but I know it wasn't in all the way. I plugged it in and everything's been fine ever since. We were able to get through the finish line with our brother TJ, who was absolutely fantastic, by the way. Thank you again, brother. We'll definitely have you back on, and definitely let's try to get our boy Travis over here to do some Joe talk and everything. I thought all of the acting stuff that he was talking about was just absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I felt like I could have asked him 100 more questions, like without a doubt. People he worked with, stuff like that. Like, I feel like it would be really, 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 really sweet. And thank you all in the chat for being super patient. 25 minutes of hanging out, just talking to each other while I got my shit together was great. I learned a few things, so I know in an emergency that I can get on with the phone. I think it's all got to be used through the Wi-Fi. That the Bluetooth connection to use as a hotspot was just not enough juice to get us through, because one either TJ or I was lagging and it wasn't working. But the podcast gods may have been responsible for that in the beginning. But long story short, they gave us what we needed in the end, and I was able to get through and show all the wonderful pictures and stuff from Matt and Chris. So on Matt's Etsy, it's Destro Designs 10 to give you 10% off. And over at sis3darsenal.com, it's just Destro Designs to get 10%. And I'm glad I pulled the whatchamacallit out there to do it like that, because we got a much better look at the bar. Y'all got to see the compatibility, how it looks going together and everything like that. And it's fantastic. So as I said before, if you're looking for something else to watch, go check out Men on Film. It's a pretty decent show. It's usually kind of funny. Like I said, it is true though. Sometimes you get like the people in the comments will be contrarian with their choices sometimes, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So that is that. But it's still a good show. Stew for Lunch is over there. My boy Talib, Abby, and them are definitely rock the house. Make sure you check out the Figure Fight Club boys. I actually missed their show last night. Goose and Lou. I think I named everybody. They got a number of ones going on. So that's what's up. So I think we're gonna wrap this up, boys. We are just coming in at 3 hours. Well, it looks like 3.5, but I was again 25 minutes late. So we're looking in. Serpentor's Lair, thank you again for bringing that up, because who knows, by the time I got to the end of the show, my dumbass would have forgot. Cal, thank you. I don't have words even for this talkative I am to say how incredibly thankful I am for that. So as we get into tomorrow, I think I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in the morning. One of the reasons I want to get going right now is because I actually have somebody coming to help me hang sheetrock on the second floor. The sheetrock is wrapped up out in the back, the driveway. So I have to carry it all the way around upstairs and then put it up. Really, I'm just looking because I'm just looking to get the, yes. Well, thank you, Cal. I greatly appreciate it, dude, for sure. I'm trying to use the company that I have coming to help me hang the what is in essence like there's, because it's an A-frame house. So upstairs has walls that come up, but then they angle together like this, and there's a small ceiling. I need them to help me hang the angled part. The little walls that are like one side, it's only like 18 inches. The other side, it's like 3.5 feet. I can do all that by myself. The run of ceiling in the middle, I can do that. But then big pieces, I need my dude to help me carry them shits upstairs and fucking whip it through. But I am ready to roll with him in the morning. I actually going to go grab him because he has a work truck that he uses from the company he works for. And instead of having him drive it all the way out here, I'm just going to go pick his ass up, stuff some lunch down his face, some money in his pocket, and then I will bring him back home at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that after that, I should be able to hope maybe in the morning, but it's doubtful. But in the evening, I will be posting over on Instagram. I have quite a few followers over there between both accounts. To be honest, it's more than on Twitter, and I should be able to get it out to some more people. And then hopefully this week it just blows us right through the goal. Again, listen, I get it. I understand. That's why it's so awesome that when people can, they do, because not all of us can. It's just a reality, And so I'm blessed with a ton of business right now. By the way, if there's anybody that is looking for work and you happen to be in the upstate New York area, I've got fucking work. I've been looking for a reliable, talented guy or girl that I would be more than happy to take on and give some work to, because I've got a ton of shit happening and my fucking old ass is having a hard time doing it by myself. I used to be the Terminator. Now I'm like, I'm not the Liquid Terminator anymore. I'm the old T-800. Old but not obsolete, I think is what he says in that one thing there. And basically, if I had somebody to carry the tools and carry the material and move shit around for me, I could make all the magic happen just at a little bit bigger clip. But the reason I say that is not I don't just have work. I have a buttload of work has been dropped into my lap, and in order for me to capitalize on all of it, what I need is another guy. So that's what's up. So thank you all again for joining me tonight. Everybody that stays in the chat is legitimately, you guys are like half the show. I say that. Serpentor's Lair, thank you for the promotion. Thank you for everybody out there that retweets everything. It's absolutely fantastic. Also, remember, I'm Destro Designs, Viper Den Studios on all social media. That is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. Still haven't loaded anything on Threads, but it's coming. If you're over there, stay tuned. The YouTube Destro Designs, you're here Saturday nights. Oh, next week we have the gentleman from the account Toy Picks Photography. That has, I think he does a show on Monday. I don't get to catch it because I'm on with Mark, but that gentleman is coming into Viper Den. We're going to be showing off some of his photos that he's done because it's great. I'm aged like milk. Yeah, that's a good one, bro. I feel you there. I definitely, my looks have aged like wine, I think a little bit, but for the most part, that's not really. So, yeah, so 100%. Appreciate everybody. I feel like there was something else. Oh, yes. So make sure you're catching the articles I'm dropping on Tuesdays and Thursdays over on serpentorslayer.com. Make sure you are signed up for the forums over there. Lots of cool shit happening. It's a great website. Definitely make sure you are over there. I am currently I've had trouble starting a social media account for Shadow Strike. I don't know if I have 3 accounts, and I don't know if there's like a max that you can have or something like that, because every time I try to create a new one on the phone, I have trouble. And so I think what I have to do is I have to get the Twitter onto the computer, and maybe it's going to allow me to do it from there. But new Shadow Strike coming through. Cal says, good night, everyone. Have a great night, great show, and great chat. Thank you again, my brother. I greatly appreciate you, and I will see you in those Twitter streets tomorrow, my brother. Really, thank you. Yeah, so that Shadow Strike updates will be coming more. I will be writing all of the new stuff coming in. That we're going to have that out in advance. Or Skizio, have a good night. You will see that in advance of the figures. That's going to come in. I think that's going to be awesome too. 610 Yojo Daddy, what's up, my brother? He says, what's up, chat? What's up, Destro? Smash the like button, subscribe, replay squad. Love it, brother. Yeah, we are on the way out the door right now, but yeah, thank you for coming through, my dude. I appreciate it. Make sure you got 610 Yojo Daddy has a YouTube channel, and you'll see him on all the socials. Make sure you're following him too. Thank you for coming through, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Shadow Strike updates will be coming hard and heavy. That'll be good. And also, if you haven't heard me say it, I wanted to mention this earlier. I am writing a G.I. Joe bit with Sean from Complete Carnage Photography, who's an amazing writer. I think he has freaking incredible ideas. He has incredible ideas. I threw a few out. Really, we're dovetailing together on that. I think it's going to be great. In the future, there may be something coming from R.A. Rain and I as well. That's a little bit further. But yeah, 100%. I'm very excited about the thing with Sean. Matter of fact, I was supposed to sit down today and add some stuff to our document, and I just didn't have a chance, but I will be getting in there for sure. But yeah, so once again, thank you all so much for coming through. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to Replay Squad as well. 610, no worries about being late, brothers. Man, we're all, if just anybody out there living that in real life, having a good time, man, that's where it's at. But thank you so much for coming, checking us out. If you're watching on the Replay Squad, thank you again. Yeah, next week, Toy Picks Photography coming through. It's going to be a great show. And don't be surprised if you see me tomorrow night pop on. I feel like I missed a few things that I wanted to try to do today, and there's a good chance that I might put together a quick little live stream to talk about the giveaway or the raffle that we're talking about. After I do some advertising on Instagram for it, I may just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to hop on real quick and try to talk to everybody, maybe get some people to come in live. Just to talk in the chat and get it going and try to get us over the hump. But shout out to Cal for dropping a nice number that moves the needle significantly towards that goal. Fucking A, man. That's just like Spencer Slayer said. That's why this community is the best, and I love to be the mouthpiece for it and the show that we all convene together on. I think it's great, which is what the show was meant to be in the very beginning. It was going to be all of us in the Twitter community hanging out on a Saturday night, and that's what's up. Oh yeah, or Skizio, nice. Okay, yeah. I actually what I meant was getting everybody to come and watch live. But if you're around, I will. We'll see what happens. I will be in touch. I definitely want to have you come back through again, no question. I may be like at the last minute tomorrow sort of thing where like I don't know if I'm going to do it right up until the minute, but I will keep you in mind and be like, hey, this is what we're looking at time wise, because I'm trying to get my daughters a play date. They have a girl that lives down the street. I'm blessed that the girls that hang out with my kids are actually their parents, or I actually like I was very worried that I was going to get around a bunch of people that either I couldn't stand or just was like, oh my God, no, they're all awesome. They're all fucking fantastic. So very, very happy about that. But yeah, that's what's up, y'all. Again, I hope you all have a good night. I will see you in all of the social media streets tomorrow. And yeah, just keep your eye out. Don't be surprised if at like around 7:00, sort of early, I pop on to talk about the raffle, try to get us over the hump here. But yes, so once again, shout out y'all. I love everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.